The following is yet another high school sports presentation brought to you by the high school sports leader in North Texas, 92.1 FM KXEZ, the Possum.
Half a mile from the county line and no rain in sight tonight. It's playoff time here in North Texas. The area round of the 2023 Texas High School Football Playoffs is here and underway in a moment under the Thursday night lights. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. You're tuned in to 92.1 FM KXEZ. I'm Ethan Herrera alongside my broadcast partner, Scott Powell. We're coming to you from C.H. Collins Stadium here in Denton, Texas, set to bring you the second round of the playoffs here in 2023, the area round between the City View Mustangs and the Gunter Tigers. Thanks for joining us tonight. The matchup ahead features two teams who are in the playoffs for at least two consecutive years, as the City View Mustangs come in at 7-4, 3-2 in district out of 6-3A. They came in third. They came off a win against Millsap last round of the bi-district round, 38-15, and they take on the juggernaut that is the 3A Division II state champions, the Gunter Tigers. 11-0 on the season, 5-0 in district play, champions of 8-3A, and an absolute butt-kicking last round in the area round against Trinity Leadership, 75-0. We'll bring in Scott Powell when we come back, and we've got absolute playoff action for you tonight. 3A Division II area round here from Denton ISD in North Texas. Our countdown to kickoff begins when we come back on 92.1 FM at KXEZ. Welcome back to 92.1 FM KXEZ. Our sponsors for tonight's broadcast: Belfiore Spawn Salon, GNS Sales, Boyd Farm, the Jarrell Company, and the Texas Gun Show on November 25th and 26th. Also, folks, don't forget, if you can't get us here at 92.1 FM on the radio, you can get the games on Live 365. Go to live365.com. Click on 92.1 KXEZ and hear us anywhere in the world. Tell your out-of-town family and friends about Live 365. Here to bring you the rundown on everything that is the City View Mustangs of 2023 is my broadcast partner and esteemed broadcast producer, Scott Powell. Scott, what do you got on?
Well, it's a fairly new program. Just started in 2000, and the year 2000, they did make the playoffs 2 years into their program in 2020 or 2002, first time ever, and they've made the playoffs 8 times. But after 2002, they did have their typical struggles that new schools have. They missed the playoffs the next 10 straight years and 14 of the next 16 years from 2003 to 2018. Only had 3 winning records during that time: 45-106, 248 during that time. But they've improved a little bit recently. 5 straight playoff appearances since 19, although just 31-25 in their 8 playoff appearances. They've never won a district championship. They've qualified second twice, third twice, and fourth 4 times. So it's a program that still has a ways to go without a district championship, and then sometimes they're just barely making it into the playoffs. Again, 31-25 though since 2019. Furthest they've gone was round 3 2 years ago. Area playoffs this year, of course, and back in 2019. When you look at their games this year, they got off to a slow 0-2 start and got off to an 0-1 start in district. 0-2 in non-district losses to Vernon and Frederick before finishing with 3 wins in a row over Trimble Tech, Boyd, and Alvord. In district, that opening loss was to Henrietta by 7, and then they won their next 2, Callisburg and Valley View. Lost to Holiday, so they needed a good showing in their final district game, and they got one, 54-0 over S&S Consolidated. And then last week in the bi-district, a pretty easy win by 23 points, 38-15 over Millsap. It's a team that's got pretty good balance offensively, more passing than running, which is a little unusual at this level, Class 3A Division II. They average 155 a game on the ground with 20 touchdowns, 6.3, so they're effective on the ground. 225 though a game through the air, 34 passing touchdowns to 20 rushing, so they are not afraid to throw it when they get near the end zone. Total offense 380 yards, 42% on third down, which is not bad. They also play some pretty good defense. 89 yards allowed through the air per game, and Gunter throws it a little bit more this year. More on that in a moment. They give up 165 a game on the ground, 4.8. Just 35% they allow on third down conversions. 254 yards of total defense, which is pretty good. They're also a +10 in turnover margin. Turned it over 17, but taken it away 27 times. There's something to keep in mind. Jacoby Monroe is the quarterback. Throws it a lot, 17 attempts a game, 164 for 188, 104 for 188, I should say. 55%, 208 yards a ball game, 1667 total, 16 a completion, 20 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. So a pretty good throwing quarterback. The problem is they've lost half of their top 2 receivers. Their top receiver is still here. It's Desmond Whiteside, 50 for 1,051 yards, 90 a ball game, 21 a catch and 4 touchdowns. But their number 2 receiver quit the team 2 weeks ago, and he had some nice numbers. Isaiah Anderson was 39 for 691, 77 a game, 18 a catch and 11 touchdowns. So that'll be interesting to see how effective their passing game is without their number 2 receiver. Hunter Brown is their 3rd leading receiver, and that drops all the way from 50 catches to 39 catches to 7 catches now for their number 2 receiver on the season for 214 yards. Their leading rusher, Jeremiah Durham, 88 for 717, 65 a game, 8.1 a carry, 7 touchdowns. Malachi Williams, 84 for 526, 6.3 and 9 touchdowns. Defensively, like most teams, are led by 2 linebackers, although their second leading tackler with 91 is Cam Vaughn. Number 1 is Keontre Bresham with 104 tackles, but Devon, the number 2 tackler, is also first in tackles for losses with 15 and first in sacks with 8. So look for pressure from Devon, number 12. Their leading defensive lineman is also their 3rd leading tackler, Jaden Bradford, 87 stops. He is tied for first in tackles for losses with 15, so he gets pressure from the line. He's also second in sacks with 6. And there is a pretty complete look at your City View Mustangs. Let me mention special teams. They have a good punter, averages 40.4 a punt, but they are only 9 out of 18 on extra points. That is ridiculously bad.
9 out of 18.
On extra points. Keep that in mind if we're in a tight game. By the way, the chances of this being a tight game, Gunter is really dominated. We're going to get into that in a minute. But their average victory margin in their last 7 area playoffs is 33 points a game, so they tend to dominate in these early rounds of the playoffs.
Well, no one gives the rundown quite like Scott Powell just did on the City View Mustangs. When we come back, we're going to talk all about the powerhouse that is the Gunter Tigers. Don't go anywhere, folks. The Tigers breakdown coming to you from Scott Powell when we come back on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Welcome back to 92.1 FM KXEZ. Ahead of this area round matchup between the City View Mustangs and the Gunter Tigers, here's Scott Powell telling you everything to know about GHS.
Get ready, folks. If you want history of Gunter, you're getting it right now, and it is impressive. They are the defending state champions. We've done all 3 of their state championship victories the last few years. They're the defending champs in 3A Division II. 3 state championships in the last 7 years, and in the last 7 years since 2016, they have those 3 championships. They also have 2 state championship losses in 2021, 2017, lost in the state semis in 18 and 20. So they have made at least the state semifinals every year since 2016. Very impressive, and looking to continue that this year. They've advanced at least, I just mentioned that state semifinal. That's the at least to the semis every year since 16. Record the last 7 years, they've either had no losses or 1 loss each of the last 7 years. They are 116-4 since 2016. No more than 1 loss in a season. Twice the only loss they suffered was in the state championship game. 2 of their 4 losses in state championship games. Before that, 92-23 from 2007 to 2015. They're 208-27 in the last 17 years. 208-27. The district domination might be just as impressive. Since 2007, 17 years, they are 95-3. Their last district loss came in the year 2015. They dominate just about everything they do. There's the history on the program. Let's talk about this year's history. What they've done this season, very dominating. Went 5-0 in the non-district, outscoring their opponents 249-50. That's a 39-point average margin of victory. They went undefeated in district. Obviously, 4 shutouts. They gave up 6 points in the opener to Bells and then shut out their next 4 district opponents, outscoring them 338-6. An average margin of victory in district of 66.4, and then rolled right through the by-district with a 75-0 blasting of Trinity leadership out of Cedar Hill. Statistically, they throw it a little bit more than most Gunter teams have in the past. They've been averaging before this year anywhere from 7 to 10 pass attempts per game. This year they're averaging 17 pass attempts a game and throwing it for 183 yards a game. So Walker Overman, the new quarterback, likes to throw the ball and throws it well. He's got 31 touchdown passes, 250 yards on the ground. They're always good running the ball, so that's a total offense of 433. 60 points a game. They only give up 5.2 a game. That's a 54.8 average margin of victory on the season. Only turned it over 10 times. Overman's had a heck of a year. He is a 75% passer. That's only 26 incompletions in 108 attempts on the season. 1,324 yards, 23 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Preston Tarpley, the backup, he's a 73% passer. 45 of 61 for 608. Gets a lot of playing time because most of their wins are blowouts. Overman also is the leading rusher, averaging 12 a carry, 15 touchdowns, 672 yards. Brock Body is number 2 at 66 for 446, 7 a carry. Jake Rathby, 42 for 228. Top receivers, remember they throw it more, and Cannon Lindbergh is at least a 2-3-year starter, 25 for 424, 17 a catch, 6 touchdowns. Jace Martin, new receiver in there, 23 for 351, 14 and a half, and 8 touchdowns. And let's see, I may have something else. Remember, they have a kicker who's been around a while. We've talked about Preston Tarpley as a kicker. As again this year, he is perfect on his extra points. 73 of 73. Gets a lot of action, so a lot of practice. Probably has a sorest leg in town on a given Saturday morning. 73 of 73. That's a little less than 7 a game that he kicks. He's just 2 out of 3 on field goals. They normally don't have to try field goals because they usually get in the end zone. And there is a complete rundown of your Gunter Tigers.
Well, the Gunter Tigers sure are one of the best teams in the state of Texas in terms of football, and you know what, in athletics in general. One of the most winningest athletic programs in every single sport that we've seen over the past decade, and they've got a chance to continue their legacy this year as the area round is about to be underway.
I've never been so tired talking about 2 teams in a pregame. I did extra homework this week, but you know what? When you do homework on the Gunter Tigers, it's fun homework.
Absolutely.
I never said that when I was in school. Nothing was fun.
A lot of winning and a lot of victories and a lot of championships, records, you name it, with the Gunter Tigers.
Yeah, there's no saying you can do anything you want with numbers. Well, with Gunter, they usually come up positive.
That's 100% true. Folks, we'll take one more break, and when we come back, we'll have the kickoff here from C.H. Collins Stadium in Denton. We've got the area round, a matchup between the City View Mustangs and the Gunter Tigers straight ahead when we come back on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Welcome back to 92.1 FM KXEZ. Ethan Herrera here with Scott Powell, ready for kickoff here from C.H. Collins Stadium in Denton.
Weather, we've got a little bit of a breeze, which is driving us crazy, but it's not too bad. It's 10 to 15 miles an hour blowing right to left out of the southeast. It is cool. Temperature is 60. It'll drop only a couple of degrees as the game goes on, but that wind, if it keeps up, makes it a little bit chilly out there with a little bit of a wind chill. No chance of rain. It is overcast, but but no chance of rain. The officials, the referee Lance Mathis, Toby Rackley, the umpire, head linesman Ron Daniels, Scotty Allen, the line judge, back judge Jackie Culverson, Jermail Batty is the side judge, field judge is Alvin Wright, and Gunter's in their classic home uniform tonight.
The Gunter Tigers donning their black on black uniforms with blue helmets, that navy shining bright under the Thursday night lights. As Tarpley puts a foot into this one and it goes to the back of the end zone, so City View will start their second round of the playoff drive on the 25.
Interesting, the series between these two teams is 3-0 Gunter, and all pretty decisive wins. Although in district play, these two teams were in the same district for 2 straight years just a few years ago, and City View held a 20-point halftime lead and ended up losing to Gunter, so something to keep an eye on tonight.
The Gunter Tigers, like we keep on mentioning, a lot of history with them, and they are ready for their second round matchup from the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. First play of the game from scrimmage, throw out to the right side and try to drop it into the bucket into Desmond Whiteside, but incomplete. Try to go big on the first play from scrimmage, and Jacob Monroe overshot him just a tad, and it's 2nd down and 10.
And remember, they do like to throw the football, averaging 70 more yards a game through the air than on the ground. So they're not afraid to throw it, and they come out and throw it on the first play into the wind, and it's going to be a little difficult to do that.
Going from left to right. 2 receivers on either side of the formation. Monroe takes the snap, looks left, fires to his swing man on the outside. Incomplete, as Jeremiah Durham was the running back out of the backfield, but the ball falls to the turf, and it'll be up 3rd down and 10 from the 25-yard line.
Durham's just a 58% passer, and so far he looks like very much a 0% passer. 0 for 2 on his first 2, and this would be a tough conversion, 3rd and 10, deep in your own territory on the first drive.
They run the doubles wide receiver set once again in the shotgun. Is Monroe, calls for the snap, takes the snap, chest high snap, looks left side, fires on the seam. He's got a man on the run at the 29-yard line and upended around the 31. On the reception was Malachi Williams, the sophomore, standing at 5'8". A gain of 6 on the play will bring up a 4th down and 4 at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, he threw that underneath. I just dropped it off on a little crossing route. Williams coming out of the backfield as a running back, and Gunter with good speed chased him down before he could get the extra 4 and pick up the first down. 4th and 6.
Gonna bring up a 4th down, and the punt unit onto the field for the Mustangs as the City View punter lines up Jaleel Thomas.
Get a good average 40 a punt this year.
Punts this one away, a high spiraling kick fielded at the 47-yard line, on the run of the 50, the 45, and out of bounds on the far side of the field. A nice return to set up Gunter quite nicely by Cannon Lemberg, who is, again, we're going to mention this a lot, one of the longtime starters on this Gunter Tigers football team.
Just a 22-yard punt. You could see the effect that wind had on it. Again, he's a good punter and just could not get enough out of it. You're going to have to kick it lower. He did go way high with that punt, and the wind just stood it up.
1st down and 10 for the Gunter Tigers with 11:04 on the clock in the first quarter. They'll start inside City View territory at the 43-yard line. Led out there by Walker Overman. The state championship quarterback a week ago threw for 3 touchdown passes on 165 yards. He's in the shotgun this time. Hands it right up the gut and sprinting down that right seam across the 40 for a nice gain of about 5 is Brock Body.
That is the simple fullback dive to Body over the right side of the line, and they got 5 out of it. You get 5 on 1st down, you're in great shape.
2nd down and 5 from the 38-yard line. Pistol formation for Overman. Takes the snap, play action, drops back, has a pocket, fires to the right side. He's got a man wide open on the 25-yard line. Outside the right numbers, makes a move in the 15, 10, 5. Goes for the end zone, he's in. Touchdown, Gunter.
Yeah, he had another receiver way over there on the far side, Kane Bold, and they seemed to concentrate on him and left the receiver wide open. Also got a little block from Bolt. Just barely got into the corner of the end zone, but he did, and a nice start for Gunter.
Colin Peacock on the reception and a nice run to the end zone for a 38-yard touchdown scamper. For Peacock, his 4th receiving touchdown on the season, and it puts Gunter ahead 6-0 pending Tarpley's extra point try. Hold is down. Tarpley's kick is up, and man, he has got an absolute cannon on that right leg as it's through the uprights, and it's 7-0. Minute and a half into this ball game. Gunter ahead over City View in this area round of matchup. You're listening to 92.1 FM KXEZ.
If you're looking for the best appliances in town, head to the Gerald Company. Locations Rockwall, Grapevine, and Dallas. You can find the first quality appliances all over North Texas. Refrigerators, washers, dryers, freezers. You can get them all at the Gerald Company. That's JARRELLCO.com. GeraldCo.com. See for yourself at that address.
Tarpley kicks this one away after the 38-yard touchdown pass from Walker Overman to Colin Peacock, and a 7-point lead for the Gunter Tigers. This one through the end zone and back to the 25-yard line go the City View Mustangs.
Boyd Farm and their event center. Book your holiday event at Boyd Farm. That's Boyd Farm. Also the Texas Gun Show November 25th and 26th in Frisco at the Embassy Suites. That is next weekend, and thanks to those folks for their sponsorship.
10:30 on the clock in the first quarter. A 3-and-out for the City View Mustangs in their last drive, their opening drive. This time they come out going left to right, trips out to the left side. Monroe, empty backfield now as he sends his man in motion, left to right. Fires this one left side, incomplete. Intended for his receiver on the left side, Hunter Brown. The sophomore couldn't hang on as it was a low throw, bringing up 2nd down and 10 from the 25.
Yeah, quarterback is not sharp so far. As you said, a low throw on just a simple little crossing pass there on a little hitch screen, kind of a bubble screen. It really wasn't going to go for much even if they completed it, because Gunter had it sniffed out, but still, if he'd gotten a block, he could have gotten a little bit on first down there.
4 down linemen for the Gunter Tigers. 2 receivers on either side for City View. Monroe switches his man left to right. Jeremiah Durham asks for the snap. Takes it. It's a high one. He brings it in, has a pocket, fires right side, has his running back out of the backfield, wide open with plenty of green grass, but Durham couldn't hold on. And another incomplete pass. That is 5 straight incomplete passes to start the ball game for Jacob Monroe, and it's 3rd down and 10 from the 25-yard line.
Nothing wrong with this pass. It was perfect, right at the numbers. Hit him in a bad spot, as the old saying goes, right in the numbers. Might have looked upfield a little bit early, but Monroe definitely deserved better than that. His first 4 passes weren't that great, but that one was perfect. A little swing screen to the right.
Another 3rd down and 10 coming for City View. 2 receivers on either side, smack dab in the middle of the hash marks. Monroe looking to complete their first pass of the ball game. Takes the snap, looks left side, fires. He's got his man Durham out of the backfield. On the run he goes, 25-yard line, 30, puts his shoulder down across the 30-yard line, and he's very close to the first down marker. Not sure they're going to give it to him. And no, he'll be a yard short, 4th and 1 on that reception. I beg your pardon, was not Durham. It was Keontre Gresham.
Yeah, good hard tackle to save the first down. A good form tackle to drive him out of bounds by Benji Rodriguez. Just a yard short. Do you go for this on 4th and 1, being a heavy underdog, already down by 7? Looks like they do.
Looks like they do. They snack the box with the one lone receiver on the right side. And the shotgun is Monroe. He awaits the snap, this 4th and 1 play. Power option for the quarterback. Goes through, he's not going to get it. He's not going to get it. The early gamble does not pay off for Coach Heath Aldrich. And it's a turnover on downs. Gunter takes over at the opposite 34-yard line.
Tough, slow developing play in the shotgun. First of all, why not go into your center? Snap is a little high, and that slowed it down. Monroe, not with the greatest quickness in the world, and by the time he got near the line of scrimmage, I mean, the center of that line just drove him back, never had a chance. He never got within really 2 yards of the line of scrimmage.
This could be a turning point already, and I only say that because this offense for Gunter looks deadly, and the defense is holding strong for the Tigers. We'll see Walker Overman back out there. He's already got a touchdown pass, his 4th of the playoffs. 2 receivers on the left side from the right hash mark, going right to left with 9:51 on the clock here in the first quarter. A 7-0 lead for the Gunter Tigers. Handoff up the middle. Brock Body makes a man miss into the secondary. 20, 15, 10, spinning around, and he finds the end zone. Touchdown, Gunter. Brock Body from 34 yards out. And the Tigers are on the prowl here in the area round.
Right up the gut. He did have a couple of defenders up the middle, including a safety, but he split those with his quick feet and then put a move. The one man who had a shot at him about the 15, he just stepped to his left and stepped around him and went untouched until he got to the goal line and then bowled over a defender. Just barely got it in.
13-0, an absolute treacherous run by Brock Body, the two-sport athlete for the Gunter Tigers. First play of the second drive, 9:42 on the clock, and they're up a couple of touchdowns. This is why this Gunter team is so dangerous and so feared.
We've got some kind of a, looks like we got both coaches.
It was one of the referees down there. It was the umpire down there who got injured. It was on the ground for quite some time. The entire officiating crew went over there to try to help him up and see if he's all right. He looks to be okay.
Yeah.
The umpire out there was the one who was on the ground.
And that is Toby Rackley. They do have backups, a couple of backups who also run the clock up here in the press box just for that reason if needed. But looks like Rackley will continue on, as Tarpley will continue on to keep his perfect extra point streak on the season going here.
He's ready to go. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is good. It's 14-0. 9:42 on the clock here in Denton as the Gunter Tigers lead it over the City View Mustangs on 92.1 FM KXEZ.
Our sponsors tonight, Belfiore Spa and Salon, Boyd Farm, Texas Gun Show, Gerald Company. And thanks to those folks. And don't forget, if you can't get us here at 92.1, tell the out-of-town friends, family, they can get us anywhere in the world at live365.com. That's live365.com. And we'll have Gunter the rest of the way, hopefully all the way to another state championship, including next week.
Tarpley kicks this one away after the 34-yard touchdown run from Brock Body. And it'll be into the end zone. Surprise, surprise, as Tarpley, I got to tell you, watching Tarpley over the years, Scott Powell, he's got to be one of the best kickers, not just in the 3A class, but he's one of the best kickers I've seen in Texas high school football.
Poor guy. He's really good. Obviously, he's going to be near 100 extra points if they go all the way. He'll be over 100 and hopefully perfect. I think he was perfect all of last year on his extra points. He doesn't get many field goal chances because he plays for the Gunter Tigers. They usually get into the end zone. He's only 2 out of 3. I mean, that's a good percentage, but he's only had 3 attempts all season because they don't have any trouble scoring touchdowns.
9:42 on the clock in the first quarter, 14-0 lead for Gunter. Monroe back at it. Here comes Monroe. This one comes out of his hand as he tries to get it out. And the ball is on the loose. It's on the loose to the turf. Picked up by Gunter. A scoop and score, and the Tigers absolutely taking it to City View on the recovery. And the score was Marshall Majors. Touchdown, Gunter Tigers.
10-yard return, just an easy scoop and score. And all of a sudden it's 20-0. And boy, Gunter can score and hurry. Gunter has scored on 4 plays, 3 touchdowns on 4 plays, and one of them was defensive. Unbelievable.
This has been one heck of a run in the 3A Division II.
By the way, Tarpley for the extra point here.
Oh! Blocked it! It was blocked. Tarpley's first miss
I jinxed it.
of the season.
I jinxed it. I'll take credit for that.
Tarpley's first miss of an extra point in 3 seasons.
Well, you could call it a miss.
It was blocked. I mean, it was online, but right there to block it, Tarpley's visibly upset.
It does count as an attempt and no good, yeah. But, yeah, it may not have been his fault at all. It might have been just not good blocking. Could have been a low kick. We really couldn't tell by the replay.
And so Tarpley, again, blocked on the extra point attempt. 9:34 on the clock, and it's 20-0 Gunter over City View as they'll line up for the kickoff once again.
92.1 FM KXEZ is your Metroplex home for Texas Aggies football and men's basketball. The footballers will host Abilene Christian. Non-conference game with a new, well, they have an interim coach already, but who knows, they might even have a new coach by Saturday morning. Kickoff at 11. Pre-game starts at 10 here on 92.1, and then the basketball team will play tomorrow night, 7 o'clock tip, 6:30 pregame as they host Oral Roberts. And then next Thursday morning, they host Penn State at 11 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning. Aggie football and basketball, men's basketball here on 92.1 KXEZ, your Metroplex home. Another touchback, is that correct?
That's
correct. The other amazing thing about Tarpley. 4 kickoffs, 4 touchbacks. I mean, the guy does it all. Booming leg is a little bit of a breeze, but he normally will get the end zone unless he's kicking into a really strong breeze.
Well, City View will line up and try it again as Jacob Monroe is out there with Malachi Williams to the right of him with two receivers on either side. First down and 10 with 9:34 on the clock in the first quarter and a 20-point lead for the Gunter Tigers.
A lot of short passes so far and down by 20. I expect them to keep throwing the ball, and here they go again on first down.
Out to the left side, incomplete, intended for the receiver Hunter Brown as he dropped back. Monroe did and misfired. It was going to be a tough throw anyway, and it'll bring up second down and 10 from the 25-yard line.
It might be a good thing that he did make a high throw, because jumping in front of the receiver, jumping the route was Benji Rodriguez. That might have been a pick six if he had lowered the pass. So some incompletions can be good incompletions.
We'll try it again. Second down and 10 from the 25-yard line with 9:30 left to go in the first quarter, folks. It's 20-0. Shotgun for Monroe. Takes the snap. Here comes the pressure. Fires right side of the flat. He's got his man Williams out of the backfield to the 30-yard line and pushed out of bounds on this near side across the 30 to the 32. And that'll bring up a third down and 3 from that 32-yard line.
And finally they connect. This time they bring Williams out of the backfield and flaring toward the near sideline. Again, huge cushions. Those short passes are not being covered very closely. The only thing Gunter's covering closely is when they go about 10 yards downfield, but they're such good tacklers, such good pursuers. They stop them short of the first down again, leaving a 3rd and 3.
Two receivers on either side of the formation, now working from the right hash mark. Williams goes in motion out of the backfield left to right. Fires this one to the left side, 30-yard line, caught on the run. Fires this way through traffic, and he gets the first down. Beautiful catch and run for that City View Mustang, Matthew Whiteside. And it's a first down for the first time tonight for the Mustangs.
Well, he needed a block. All he needed was 3 yards. So, it's a bubble screen. He catches it behind the line. So he needed a block, and he got it from Hunter Brown just enough to get an extra yard or two and squeeze out the first down.
From the 36-yard line, going left to right, working from the left hash mark. It's 8:25 on the clock here in the first quarter of play. It's 20-0 Gunter over City View in this area round matchup.
They stepped back for a minute to look for a change of play from the sideline. Had 15 on the play clock at the time.
A good snap. Looks left side. Fires this one up the left seam. And beautiful catch by Hunter Brown in traffic. A gain of just 3, but a nice play. Gets him to the 39, bringing up second down and 7.
Simple comeback route. He had Alex Puga all over his back. It was a tough catch because of that. And he was driven backward after a short gain of 3. Good job by Puga.
Two receivers on either side for Monroe. They've passed the ball on every single play in this ball game to start it off. A high snap. He brings it in. Looks up the middle. Fires his man out of the backfield. It's Williams. Malachi Williams gets to the 50-yard line, the 45, 40, and upended down around the Gunter 36-yard line. Biggest play on offense on the night for City View.
Again, those underneath routes are open. Gunter covering deep, but the underneath routes with huge cushions. Williams again out of the backfield. Boy, he's the main target. He's got good speed. He also broke a tackle and got an extra 7 out of that to the 36.
First play coming for City View inside Gunter territory. Two receivers on either side. Two are stacked inside the numbers on the left side of the formation. Left hash mark snap. He takes it. Monroe looks left and fires up the middle. Caught by Malachi Williams. A twisting, a turning catch on his back shoulder. Hauls it in and falls forward to the 22-yard line. Another first down on back-to-back plays for the Mustangs.
Yeah, if it wasn't for a couple of drops, they were pretty effective throwing it on the first 2 series. They just had some drops. The offensive line's doing a great job. It's just a 4-man rush. Gunter may have to start blitzing a little bit because they're getting no pressure on the quarterback out of that 4-man.
And City View is making Gunter sweat right now on this drive. A timeout called by Coach Frizzell and the Tigers.
92.1 FM KXEZ, 95.3 FM KTYI, The Range, our sister station. We're deeply rooted and invested in North Texas. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your support. Love to have you as a customer and advertiser. Call this number, 972-251-0725. Very affordable. Great way to reach your customers. Love to hear from you. 972-251-0725 is the number. And don't forget, we could we're going to have Gunter next week, probably Gunter the rest of the way. We also might have Caddo Mills. They play tonight. We might have Aubrey. They play tomorrow night. Could have Bells. Could have the South Oak Cliff Melissa winner. They play Saturday night. So we could have any of those schools. We'll definitely have Gunter. Love to have you as an advertiser. Just get in touch with us again, 972-251-0725.
Coming out of the timeout, it's 20-0 Gunter over City View in this area round and matchup.
22-yard line.
A couple of first downs and long passing plays as City View inside Gunter territory. Trips out to the right side. Monroe in the shotgun. He's got a lone receiver on the left side just inside the numbers. That's Matthew Whiteside, his leading wide receiver.
By the way, Williams is out of the game.
Takes the snap, looks to the left side. He's got Whiteside. Back corner of the end zone, incomplete. As he overshot it, he was looking for Matthew Whiteside, the sophomore. It'll bring up second down and 10.
Good tight D from Jace Martin, one-on-one out there on an island. Martin just kind of pushed him out of bounds, and once he's out of bounds, he's ineligible anyway, although the official didn't throw his hat. It looked like he was clearly out of bounds, tried to come back in and make the catch, but the pass really wasn't there either. And again, the wind seems to have picked up just a little bit more of a steadier 15 miles an hour in City View's face. It's a lot of the reason they've thrown a lot of these short passes.
Second down and 10 from the 22-yard line, going left to right from the left hash mark. They look to the sideline to head coach Heath Aldrich to get the play. And it looks like they're going to call a timeout, and Coach Heath Aldridge is going to burn his first with 6:47 on the clock in the first quarter.
Stay with us at halftime. We'll review the first half series by series, give you all the key plays. We'll also see if we can find some first half stats. We'll look at scores from around the area. There are a few Thursday games. First 2 weeks of the season, of the playoff season here, we've had a lot of Thursday night games. And our travel log tonight, you're getting ready to hear all about a wonderful bed and breakfast location in West Texas. I'll just tease it for now and tell you all about that. Ethan, I promise you'll want to go. After
you know I love the B&Bs.
Yes, sir.
6:47 on the clock here in the first quarter. Gunter has come out firing. A couple of 30-plus long touchdown plays, a passing play from Walker Overman to Colin Peacock, and a Brock Body 34-yard scamper. And a defensive touchdown on a quarterback strip sack makes it 20-0.
Very long timeout here. The officials are very generous because the referee is having a conversation with one of his fellow officials and may have just kind of lost track of time, but that's one of your longer timeouts as both teams hit the field here for a 2nd and 10. Nice drive by City View. This started back at their 25. They really struggled. That's why they're down 20-0. But this has been this will be the 8th play of this drive.
Tight end into the ball game. Actually, a couple of tight ends with 2 receivers on the left side for Monroe. 2nd down and 10. Takes the snap. Looks left side. 2 receivers go that way. He's rushed out right side by the Gunter Tigers. And down he goes. A big-time sack deep inside their own territory. And who could that be? It's Major Thornhill.
Well, that is your classic coverage sack. He had all day, which he's had most of this game so far. He was able to stand back there, happy feet, kind of jump up and down, survey the field. Couldn't find anybody open. Everybody was covered. They had some people deep on the left side toward the end zone. Finally, you got to have that clock in your head or have eyes in the back of your head, because all of a sudden it closed down, and he could have avoided that loss with a little bit of recognition.
3rd down and 19 as Monroe takes the snap, fires to the right side, incomplete, intended for the back, out of the backfield, Keontre Gresham. And that'll bring up a 4th down and 19 deep inside Gunter territory.
What do you do here? I told you in the pregame they're only about 550% on extra point attempts, so they didn't have any field goals listed, which doesn't surprise me based on the extra point attempts. So, and they're into the wind here. It would be a 48-yard attempt. So really, they're kind of in no man's land here. You kind of just have to go for it. It'd be hard to punt it and keep it short of the end zone.
5:59 on the clock here in the first quarter. They're going to go for it. 4th down and 19. Trips right side. Monroe takes the snap. It's a 3-man rush. Stepping up in the pocket. Monroe turns his shoulders, fires to the middle of the field. Incomplete. He had a step on the defender. The receiver did. Jaleel Thomas. It falls to the turf, and he'll bring up a turnover on downs and another Gunter possession with 5:51 on the clock here in the first quarter of play.
Not much time. You mentioned the three-man rush. Well, it was a good three-man rush. Had one coming from the left edge, had one coming up the middle, and they got a lot out of that three-man rush because he didn't have much time, although he was able to step up and to his left, and get a nice pass off without much duress. It just wasn't a very good pass. I think the wind has really bothered Monroe here in the first quarter. He's going to get it at his back. Sometimes the wind can be just as difficult when it's at your back, though, and that'll be in the second quarter.
5:51 on the clock as this turnover on downs goes to the Gunter Tigers. Brock Body gets the handoff from the right hash mark, and the 20 make it the 31-yard line. He shifts left side, and it gets down to the 36. A nice gain of 5 on the play, bring it up second down and 5 with 5:30 left to go in this first quarter.
Only the fourth play from scrimmage. Only took 2 plays to go 43 yards, 1 play to go 34 yards, then got a defensive touchdown. So the Gunter offense is well rested.
From the left hash mark, pistol formation for Walker Overman. The Gunter Tigers lead it 20-0. Play action. Overman drops back, has a pocket, fires to the middle of the field. He's got a man wide open. It's Peacock. Once again at the 50-yard line. He's hit as he goes to the turf, and the ball comes out. The ball comes out. It's a turnover as City View takes it off the ground, and they take one away from Gunter, and they're going to get the ball right back after they put together a nice drive and a big turnover here early in the first quarter with 5:12 on the clock.
Boy, it appeared close to being down before he fumbled. But
I'm with you, Scott.
Not much of an argument, really, from the Gunter sideline.
Peacock was wide open in the middle of the field. He cut it at the midfield stripe. It ran about 5 yards and was absolutely pummeled by Hunter Brown, and the ball came out, and that is where, at the 45-yard line, I beg your pardon, is where City View will take over. First down and 10. Handoff. The first handoff of the ball game goes to Malachi Williams up the middle for a gain of 2 on the play to the 47.
Interesting. 3A football, usually running teams at this level. First run of the game, as you mentioned, for City View. So they came out firing.
Under 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. It's a 20-0 lead. Gunter came out hot, and City View, who moved the ball quite nicely up until the end of their last drive, gets it back in great field position. From the left hash mark, 2 receivers on either side of the formation. Williams to the left of the quarterback, Monroe. Claps his hands, takes the snap, looks left side, fires left side. He's got Brown on the run, hurdles a man at the 50-yard line and dives forward close to the first down marker. Did he get it? He's out of bounds right at the Gunter 45. And yes, first down for City View, and the Mustangs are galloping here on this drive here in the fourth quarter, making the first quarter with 4 minutes and 27 seconds left to go and counting.
Nice little swing screen to Brown. Almost everything they do is short. I think except for one long bomb, everything has been 10 yards or less, and Gunter's playing off of them, giving them the underneath routes.
Monroe in the shotgun with 2 receivers on either side. Williams once again, he's stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he got back to it, but it'll bring up a second down and 10 from the 45-yard line, although they are in Gunter territory.
First hit right in the middle by Hayden Farrell, one of the defensive linemen, one of the tackles in there, wearing the unusual number 33 for a defensive tackle, but he cleaned it up along with a little bit of help on a run, just simple little run right up the middle for nothing.
20-0 here in this area round as the Gunter Tigers lead over City View. Second down and 10 coming from the Gunter 45. From the left hash mark going left to right. Monroe takes the snap, has a pocket. Time all day, fires to the middle of the field, incomplete. He had a man down that right seam. It was Desmond Whiteside. He overshot him, although there was a small window, but it brings up third down and 10 from the 45-yard line, and another third down for City View.
Interesting. When he has missed tonight, they've all been high. He's thrown only one low pass, and that could have been caught. So he really can sail him, and I noticed there, he instead of stepping up in the pocket, he kind of threw it off the back foot, and that's what leads to those high passes.
Third down and 10 from the left hash mark, 45-yard line.
4-down territory probably here.
Shotgun out to Monroe, fires to Hunter Brown, left side, stops right before that out-of-bounds marker. He maybe gained a yard on that on the swing route, on that bubble screen, I should say, and yep, a gain of 1, 4th down and 9 from the Gunter 44.
So unlike the last series where they went for it, this is is more of a good situation here where you might look for the coffin corner. Of course, they've already given up 20 points. I'm not sure they have a lot of confidence in their defense against this Gunter offense, which says, hey, you might as well go for it. And it looks like they are going for it.
Under 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Make it the first quarter. It's been a long first quarter, folks.
It really has.
Two receivers on either side for Monroe. 4th down and 9 coming. Takes the snap, but whistles come in before this one gets going. It's 20-0 Gunter over City View. And it looks like we're going to get a timeout from City View. And we'll take one as well. 20-0. 2:43 on the clock in the first quarter. Back in 30 seconds on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Welcome back to 92.1 FM at KXEZ. Ahead of this 4th down and 9. From the 44-yard line inside Gunter territory, the Gunter Tigers have scored 3 times, once on defense, a couple of long scoring plays, but on defense right now, they're going to try to stop this City View Mustangs offense from a turnover on downs. Dropping back is Monroe, has some time, fires the left side, he's got a man! No, it's picked off at the 25-yard line. Another takeaway for the Gunter Tigers down the right sideline. And he runs it back to the midfield.
Number 4, Jace Martin.
It was Jace Martin on the interception, although a flag came in on the return. But for now, the Gunter Tigers take it over.
Boy, there was nobody home where he tried to throw that. He had 2 receivers over there, but overthrew him by a good 10, 15 yards. So kind of tells me, Martin was playing center field. It kind of tells me that maybe there was a miscommunication on the route. Hopefully this isn't coming back.
Monroe's
the flag is in the area of where the interception occurred.
That's true. Was it maybe holding or something of the sort? We'll hear.
Back to take possession and during the return. Personal foul.
On the return.
Gotcha.
So it's Gunter ball 15 yards further toward their end zone. But Gunter does keep the football and get another stop. Interesting, Gunter's only run 6 plays of offense and leads 20-0.
Well, they're not one of the greatest teams of the decade for no reason, Scott. They'll come out here with 2:33, make it 2:32 on the clock in the first quarter, up 20-0. They come out with a dual halfback set. Walker Overman calls for the snap and takes it. Here comes Body, left side, trying to sweep out toward the left side. 20-yard line, 25, and out of bounds. They'll mark him out right at the 27-yard line. A nice gain on first down of 10, and it'll be a first down and 10 from there.
Just a power sweep, pulled a couple of linemen out in front. The key was he was hitting the backfield by Matthew Whiteside, broke that shoestring tackle and got something out of it in the first down.
Play action. Quarterback keeper. Here comes Walker Overman. Folks, he can run. He gets to the 36-yard line on a nice gain of 9 on the play to that 36, bringing up a second down and 1.
Funny, we really haven't seen him. Of course, we haven't seen much of anything from an offense that just ran its 8th play late in the first quarter, but he is the leading rusher on this team.
Play action, moving quickly. Overman fires this one. A beautiful catch and a beautiful pass to Colin Peacock, who catches it at the 50-yard line, races forward, and gets to the 47. My goodness. A small window, and Walker Overman found him with a man right in his face.
Overman's a lot of fun to watch. He really doesn't have the best mechanics. A lot of times he's throwing off the back foot. Sometimes he's stepping forward with a front foot when he throws it. It's not beautiful to watch, but he's very effective. 75% passer.
Overman hands this one off to the right side, off the right guard, and it's Brock Body who fires forward to the 42-yard line. A gain of 5, but there is a flag on the play at around where he got tackled.
Ethan start ripping off the names of the pro quarterbacks who are 75% passers.
I can't tell you one. Trips to the right side for Walker Overman. There was no flag. I beg your pardon, folks. Tied into the ball game. Overman takes it. Quarterback draw. Up the middle he goes. Makes a man miss and pummels his way across the 35-yard line. He may have been stopped a yard short at the 36, but it's a first down for the Gunter Tigers.
Nice little pump fake to the right to draw the defenders to their left, and then as a called quarterback draw all the way.
Minute 20 and counting here in the first quarter to go. It's 20-0 Gunter over City View. Bootleg, left side, gets his shoulders turned, fires this one up, and it's picked off! Picked off at the 26-yard line by City View. Down the right numbers into Gunter territory. High-stepping his way deep inside Gunter territory at the 30-yard line. My goodness, what a pick and what a return by Trey Hansborough.
ill-advised pass as he had a man right in his face and just kind of got nothing on it. It was accurate but had nothing on it, and it hung, and Hansborough just stepped in front and jumped the route and made the catch. But as you see the replay, I mean, he really shouldn't have even thrown that. If you're going to throw it in that situation, throw it away, and he kind of threw it up for grabs.
Just the second interception thrown by Walker Overman this season. And it comes with 1:03 on the clock in the first quarter. Down by 20 is City View, but they're in a great field position to start this next drive at the Gunter 25. First down and 10 with 1:03 on the clock. Two receivers on either side of the formation for Monroe. Takes the snap on the right hash mark. Steps into it, fires it across the middle to his back out of the backfield. That was Malachi Williams, the intended receiver, but it falls to the turf, bringing up a second down and 10.
And where was it? It was high.
It was high.
All but one pass has been high.
Scott, do you think that's overcompensating with the wind blowing right in his face, or is it
Maybe.
it looks like he's just letting it fly?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mechanics problem, a lot of off the back foot, but yeah, the wind has something to do with it. He's had to go into the wind this entire first quarter, which is a marathon first quarter, by the way, which is now in its 38th minute.
59 seconds on the clock in the first quarter, left to go. 20-0, empty backfield for Monroe. Trips out left side, looking left, firing left. He's got a man again. A high pass intended for Desmond Whiteside. It'll bring up a third down and 10, and he had some room if he can put that one right on his numbers. But another incomplete pass, and it'll bring up a long third down.
Do I need to say it was high one more time? And I mean way high. He's missing badly on a lot of these, although the receiver just barely got a hand on that, but no chance to catch it. They tried to run the tunnel screen. Hadn't run that one yet. Run some bubble screens with the tunnel. It's where the receiver comes back toward the quarterback and circles around. The idea is to catch it and run it up the middle.
55 seconds on the clock in the first quarter to go. It's 20-0 Gunter over City View in this area round, a matchup from the right hash mark going left to right from the Gunter 25. City View's quarterback Monroe awaits the snap. He takes the snap, drops back, looks right side. He's got a man down the right sideline. Incomplete, intended for Matthew Whiteside, and the sophomore couldn't catch up to it as it was overthrown. On him was Cannon Lindbergh, and he'll bring up a fourth down.
Yeah, perfect defense. One-on-one coverage. They tried to run the fade route, and when the defender is step for step with the receiver, that's awfully hard to complete.
Well, we've seen them go for it on fourth down, and now, 3 times in a row now? We'll see if they can do it again, or if they will do it again, and in fact, they do line up.
Again, for a team that kicks poorly, this will be a 42-yard attempt into the win.
Shotgun for Monroe. Jacob takes the snap, looks left side, steps up in the pocket. The pocket collapses. A flag comes in. He's brought down from behind. And a big-time sack on fourth down. Turns it over back to Gunter, and on the sack was Seth Blassingame.
Probably holding based on where the flag is. The referee, Lance Mathis, says holding, and Gunter will take the football. Another stop in their own territory for the Gunter Tigers.
This Gunter Tigers defense has not given up a point here in the first 5 quarters of these playoffs in 2023. 20-0 the score.
Still in the first quarter.
Still it is in the first quarter. Still, we are approaching 40 minutes to go in the ball game.
Normally one sheet of paper takes care of me per quarter. I'm on a page and a half now of series. 5, 6, 7, 8.
We'll have a lot to talk
9,
about here
10.
at halftime.
This will be the 12th fresh set of downs, fresh series for each team.
Overman.
6 each.
Overman takes it, hands off to Body, who sprints past a couple of defensive linemen and powers his way to the linebacking section of the defense and gets 5 yards to the 33-yard line. Second down and 5 coming with 30 seconds on the clock in the first.
12 fresh starts for the offenses, and we're still in the first quarter. Fresh sets of down. That is amazing.
Overman in the shotgun, takes the snap, hands it off left side. There goes Body once again, powers his way across the 40-yard line. I beg your pardon, it was Braden Hinton, his first carry of the ball game. And with 15 seconds on the clock, they get the first down to the 42, and they are off and running. 20-0. Gunter over City View. Overman takes the snap, has the sweep on the jet sweep, left side, and brought down across the 45 on that run on the jet sweep out of the slot position was Dylan Tokars.
And believe it or not, that's going to be it for the first quarter. It only took 40 minutes. Seemed like an hour and 40 minutes.
It'll be a gain of 7, so we'll have a second down and 3 coming from the 49-yard line in Gunter territory as the first quarter comes to an end after 40 minutes of real time. 20-0, the Gunter Tigers lead it over City View in this area round matchup. You're listening to Texas High School Playoff Football here on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Welcome back to 92.1 FM KXEZ.
Thanks to our sponsors, Belfiore Spa and Salon, Boyd Farm, Texas Gun Show, and the Gerald Company. Don't forget, can't get us here at 92.1. Tell the out-of-town friends and family to go to live365.com. You can get us anywhere in the world. Gunter football every week the rest of the way here on 92.1.
Start of the second quarter, and end around. They hand it to the right side, going all the way down the right sideline. And it's a touchdown for the Gunter Tigers. My goodness, 51 yards. Cade Dodson. First play of the second quarter. The fake handoff up the middle, the end around, and the all-state shortstop for the Gunter Tigers takes it 51 yards to the end zone.
How did you know that?
Oh, I know it. I know it.
I am impressed.
26-0 as Tarpley heads back out there for an extra point try.
Unfortunately, had his 75 attempt made streak ended the last time on a block.
High snap, hold gets down, but it gets right through the uprights, and it's 27-0 with 11:49 on the clock here in the second quarter. Gunter leads it over City View in the area around a matchup. You're listening to 92.1 FM KXEZ.
If you're looking for the best appliances in town, go to the Gerald Company in Rockwall, Grapevine, and Dallas. You can find those first quality appliances, refrigerators, washers, dryers, freezers. All 4 of those I got from the Gerald Company. Wonderful experience. I expect you to go see them and enjoy the experience just like I did, or visit JARRELLCO.com today.
Tarpley kicks this one off, this time into the wind, and it's fielded on the run by Durham at the 5-yard line. Goes all the way to the far side of the field outside the right hash marks and is down at the 20-yard line, and that is where the City View Mustangs will take over.
A rare non-touchback, and so what does he get on a non-touchback? 5 yards shorter at the 20 instead of the 25.
Well, to be fair, he's kicking into a pretty strong wind, folks.
Pretty steady 15, 20 maybe it looks like. Supposed to have died tonight. Oh, I just love weathermen. People I know that can be consistently wrong and keep their job.
11:44 on the clock in the second quarter. 27-0 Gunter over City View. Out to the left side as this one's tossed out to Jeremiah Durham. Slight trickery as they fake the run and toss it into the swing. No gain on the play to the 20-yard line to bring up a second down and 10.
Consistently wrong and still keep your job, except for the great Dan Henry at Channel 4.
Oh, Dan, one of the best.
Ethan Herrera, an employee of Channel 4, but Dan is good.
Dan is one of the best.
Of course, they got the best traffic man you'll find anywhere in Chip Wagner.
Chip Wagner. Those are my colleagues over there at Griffin Street. 11:10 on the clock in the second quarter. 2 receivers on the left side, 1 on the right side. Shotgun for Monroe. Takes it. Actually, that's Malachi Williams running the Wildcats kind of look. He gets about 4 yards on the play to the 24. That'll bring up his 3rd down and 6 from that 24-yard line. I guess they're trying to switch things up a bit. Maybe we'll see Monroe back out there. We do as he trots back onto the field. The City View Mustangs donning their white-on-white uniforms with blue numbers, white helmets, and that blue Texas and blue Mustang on that left side of the helmet. Monroe with trips to the right side on the left hash mark. Tries to draw him off sides on the 3rd and 6. Coming with 10:22 on the clock and counting in the second quarter. 27-0 Gunter leads it. In the shotgun, Monroe calls for the snap and takes it. Fires this one left side. He's got his man at the 31 and down near the 35-yard line on the catch was Matthew Whiteside. The 2 brothers on each side of the offensive wide receiver crew.
Slightly underthrown. You want to hit him in full stride on a slant like that, but he threw it behind, which caused Whiteside to have to slow down to make the catch and then head forward, but he still got a nice gain of 10 out of it.
And he got the first down as well. First down and 10 from the 34. It's 27-0 Gunter over City View. Monroe with trips to the right side, fires the right seam. He's got his man. Back-to-back completions for Jacob Monroe. On the catch was Malachi Williams, this time out of the slot receiver position.
Monroe enjoying the toils of throwing with the wind for the first time tonight after a 40-minute first quarter where every pass was against the wind.
He's got a strong arm, that City View quarterback, and he's showing it off quite a bit. And you've said all night, he's overthrown some receivers at times. 9:21 on the clock and counting here in the second quarter. Second down and 4 from the 40-yard line, still in their own territory. Monroe with trips to the right side, gets the snap, it's high, fires right side, and incomplete, in and out of the hands of his star wide receiver, Desmond Whiteside, and the junior couldn't hold on.
That's at least the third drop of the night for City View. First one since early in the game, but boy, that was right in his hand. He had a couple of blockers out in front on that far sideline. Probably would have gotten the first. Now they need 4 for the first down from their own 40 on third down.
Smack dab in the middle of the hash mark. Strips to the right side, going right to left. Monroe with Williams to the right of him in the backfield. He's got Matthew Whiteside, the lone receiver on the left side of the formation. Calls for the snap, it's high. Looks left side, fires left side, I should say, as it's in and out of the hands of Whiteside, and it'll bring up a 4th down and 4 from a 40. And we've seen them go for it every single time on 4th down, where they go for it once again in their own territory.
Tough catch there. It was a little behind him, had to reach back, but it hit off his hands. Benji Rodriguez was also hanging all over him. Rodriguez had a good first half here, and yeah, I mean, you're down 27-0. You're a heavy underdog. Why not go for it on 4th and 4? And like you said, they have all night anyway.
9 minutes, 5 seconds left to go in the first half of play. It's 27-0 Gunter over City View. Trips to the right side. Middle of the hash marks, going right to left for Monroe. Takes the snap. He's going to sprint out right side. That's Malachi Williams in the Wildcat. Fires this one to the right sideline. Incomplete. It's popped up in the air. Is it picked off?
Yes.
And it is picked off. Another takeaway for the Gunter Tigers. This time on the reception, as that errant ball went up in the air, was Brooks Griggs Bell, an all-district pitcher for the Gunter Tigers baseball team. Another 2-sport athlete for this Gunter team, and the Tigers take over at their own 49-yard line on the left hash mark, up by 27 with 8:58 on the clock.
Stay with us at the half. We'll give you the entire baseball roster.
Brooks Griggs Bell is one of the star pitchers.
And the one name on the baseball team I'll never forget, where, you know, try and say that 5 times quickly.
It's a little bit tough, as we called that Gunter Tigers baseball.
As a pitcher he was?
As a pitcher.
Well, try saying Brooks Griggs. I can't even say it once. Over and over on every pitch.
27-0 as Walker Overman trots back. He's got his man in the flat, a crossing route to the 50-yard line, 45, and out of bounds inside City View territory. That was Jace Martin, one of the leading receivers on this Tigers team. A first down for Gunter, and they get to the 38-yard line of City View. Tough stack formation, toss out right side to the 35, and then getting an extra maybe 10 yards on the play, and they are moving quickly. Easton Overman on that one, the brother of Walker.
Student body right to the short side, just a dead sweep with a couple of linemen out in front, and boy, they blocked it well. Everybody engaged with their defender.
After the gain of 9, they'll hand it off. Up the middle he goes, and they get the first down. A nice gain to the 26-yard line. They get the 25-yard line. On the carry was Hayden Farrell. They're moving quickly. Pistol formation, firing right side into the flat to the 20-yard line and complete down to the 20. On the catch was Kane Bolt, and this Gunter offense is moving like they're double parked.
It's the first. They're moving like they got dinner reservations. I mean, this is first time they've pulled this out tonight, the hurry-up offense, and well, they've got City View on their heels.
Second down and 7 from the right hash mark. Dropping back is Overman. He fires left side, catching out at the 10-yard line, trying to get around the defender. And down is Jace Martin inside the 10-yard line. It'll bring up a goal-to-go situation for the first time tonight for Gunter.
Beautiful stop and comeback route by Martin as he drove the defender off, stopped, came back to the ball, and a perfect pass.
It's Tarpley at quarterback as he hands this one off to the 5-yard line. Diving for the end zone. Is he in? He's in. Touchdown, Gunter. Hayden Farrell from 10 yards out. And the Tigers pouring it on here in the first half.
Carries it in from the 10-yard line.
And a very quick 51-yard drive in 6 plays as they turned on the hurry-up offense. And Boy, Cityview never really was able to catch their breath the whole drive.
Easton Overman was a mainstay on that drive out of the slot, the younger brother of Walker Overman. And it was Tarpley in at quarterback that entire drive, and now he'll do the honors with the extra point try. It's up and it's in. It's 34-0. 7:35 on the clock left to go here in the first half of play. Gunter well in control of this one here in the area round. You're listening to Texas High School Football Playoffs on 92.1 FM KXEZ.
Texas Gun Show next weekend at Embassy Suites in Frisco, November the 25th and 26th. Plan to attend Boyd Farm and Event Center. You can book your holiday event at Boyd Farm. That's Boyd Farm. Belfiore Spa and Salon also a sponsor, as is the Gerald Company. Thanks to our sponsors, Live365.com, where you can get our stream of Gunter football every week right here on KXEZ. Tell the out-of-town friends and company they can hear us anywhere in the world at Live365.com.
Tarpley kicks this one away. A sky kick out to the 20-yard line, and calling for the fair catch was Malachi Williams. So the City View offense will take over at the 25-yard line.
Stay with us at the half. We'll have a series-by-series review of the first half. That might take the whole halftime, by the way. We'll look at scores from around the area. If we have some stats, we'll bring those to you. And our travel log is a bed and breakfast in West Texas.
Ooh.
And I think it's where the West begins, and not Fort Worth either.
I love it. A little tease from Scotty P. 7:33 on the clock here in the second quarter. Shotgun for Malachi Williams. Again, running that Wildcat offense. He's stopped right at the line of scrimmage and brought back. Did he get back to it? He did. It'll bring up a second down and 10 from the 25. It's 34-0 Gunter over City View with 7:20 and counting to go in the second quarter of play. The defense from Gunter has stepped up big time.
No gain on the play, brings up second down.
Gunter beat
25-yard line.
Trinity last week, 75-0.
Trinity leadership, believe it or not, that's a public school in Cedar Hill.
75-0, folks. And right now they're well on their way to matching that. It's 34-0 with 6:52 and counting left to go in the second quarter. Monroe takes the snap, drops back, fires in the middle of the field. He's got his man on a slant route to the 30-yard line, and the ball comes out. The ball is stripped away. Who's got it? The Tigers have it. Are you kidding me? What an absolute beautiful play once again by Major Thornhill. He picked up his man.
Major, what a great name, Major. I mean, if I wanted somebody to lead me into battle, it would be Major Thornhill. How can you go wrong with that name?
Salute to you, Major Thornhill, as he stripped it away at the 29-yard line, and the Gunter Tigers have it deep inside City View territory. And we will see Walker Overman back out there as Tarpley took over the quarterbacking duties on the last drive. First down and 10 with 6:40 on the clock left to go. Here in the first half of play, handoff up the middle, Brock Body, putting bodies all over the place, and he goes all the way inside the 15-10 and down at the 9-yard line. A tough runner, another two-sport athlete for the Gunter Tigers, as it'll be first and goal from the 9.
Quick hitter, fullback dive, and just enough of a seam for Body's quick feed. And boy, he's one, I like to call that kind of runner a hippie runner. He'll hit you with a hip left, a hip right. Before you know it, he's into the secondary and got him a 20-yard gain.
On the end around, handoff, Bronson it outside to the right numbers, stopping, going forward, and it's Jace Martin on the end around, gets inside the 5-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 3, so second down and goal from there.
Number 12 makes the tackle.
Is there a flag? There is a flag on the play. That's why they didn't move the sticks.
This might be coming back.
Looks like the Gunter offense knows that it is as they're walking backwards.
Offense number 56.
Holding by Gunter. That's Braden Nelson down there.
Yeah, the only thing stopping Gunter is Gunter tonight.
How many?
We hadn't had many
I was
penalties.
just about to say it. We haven't had many penalties on Gunter.
We hadn't had any missed extra points all year either till I mentioned it, and I look for the flags to come flying now.
Oh my goodness. 6:03 on the clock. First down and goal from the 13-yard line. Overman, play action, looks right side, fires right side, jump ball to the back corner of the end zone. Did he get it? Did he get it? No call, incomplete. My goodness, looking for Colin Peacock. Almost a beautiful, beautiful catch over the Jaleel Thomas cornerback. for City View.
Yeah, he beat Thomas and then just waited for the ball to come down on the fade, and he turned and caught it. Boy, never saw a replay. The one time I wanted to see a replay, that looked like it was close to being a touchdown.
Overman, handoff, Brock Body corkscrewing his way from the left side to the right side. Inside the 5-yard line to the 3. A flag comes in well after the tackle ahead of this second down and make it third down and goal.
Oh, another hold. I guess they got to get their quota in here for the first half. My goodness. You know, it's one of the biggest things that coaches complain about. You don't call holding the whole way down the field, and now we're inside the 10 and you call it twice.
And I'm not sure what this could be. I know
yeah,
you
we're not sure it's
hold.
holding. Yeah, I mean, this could be anything.
This came well after the tackle. I'm not sure. This might have been a...
Lance Mathis does not give preliminary signals. Here comes the real signal on sportsman conduct against Gunter.
And maybe he got a little too excited as that was Major Thornhill down there.
Maybe the major started giving orders. I don't know.
He's trying to direct his authority, assert his dominance. 15-yard penalty pushes him back to the 18. Third down and goal from the 18-yard line. 5:40 and counting left to go in the first half. 34-0 Gunter over City View. Overman takes the snap, fires to the end zone. Incomplete, and a flag comes in. Intended for Jace Martin, and flags all over. A bunch of laundry onto the field.
Trey Hansborough looked like grabbed him from behind. You could call this interference or holding, but it is on Hansborough. You know, he had a step on Hansborough, probably, although the pass was overthrown. Yeah, you might consider that pass uncatchable if you're going to call interference, but if you're going to call holding, I think you call it either way.
For the listeners at home, Scott, if it is interference, it's an automatic first down, correct? And if it's holding, they'll just replay the down.
No, if it's holding, I mean, either way, it's a penalty against the opposition. I mean, whether you take...
No, exactly, but now it is first down and goal.
My problem is if you're going to call interference, the ball was uncatchable.
Overman, handoff, Brock Body leads him into the end zone. Touchdown, Gunter!
Touchdown, Tigers!
The Tigers find the end zone for the 6th time in this first half. It's 40-0. One of the most dominant programs in Texas football. Showing you why here in this first half of the area round. 5:32 on the clock, Scott. They're up 40-0, pending the extra point try from Tarpley. I might consider a running clock here once the second half starts.
Yeah, both coaches have to agree to it at the half. It's a possibility, though. They're not going to do it here in the second quarter usually.
Lemberg will hold as Tarpley lines up for an extra point try. Hold is down. Kick is up through the uprights, and it's 41-0. Gunter over City View with 5:32 left to go in the half. You're listening to Texas High School Football Playoffs on 92.1 FM, KXEZ.
Again, stay with us at halftime for our halftime show. We'll have a series-by-series review of the first half, scores from around the area, and a travel log about a bed and breakfast in West Texas. Here's your short kickoff. Don't forget A&M basketball and football coming up as we are your Metroplex home. The football team plays Abilene Christian Saturday morning. Kickoff at 11, pregame at 10. Right here on 92.1. The basketball team plays tomorrow night at 7, 6:30 pregame against Oral Roberts at home. They're also home on Thanksgiving at 11 a.m. against Penn State.
Got to watch out for that Aggie basketball team, ranked number 15 coming in. Buzz Williams knows what he's doing over there. 5:35, make it 5:32 on the clock here in the second quarter. 41-0 Gunter over City View. Monroe in the shotgun with trips to the left side, make it quads to the left side as he's got his man in a bubble screen at the 30-yard line, diving ahead. And a nice gain on first down of 5. The receiver, Jaleel Thomas, caught it in stride and got 5 yards on the play. Second down and 5 from the 39-yard line. City View moved it once or twice on a couple of drives where they looked good, Scott. And Monroe finally found it, but, I mean, the turnovers.
And Gunter has, on their 5 touchdown drives, it's only taken them a total of 17 plays. That's a little over 3 a possession. So they're getting it done really quickly. The City View defense has not allowed them to stay in this game.
From their own 39-yard line, Monroe takes the snap. Whistles come in before this 2nd down and 5 play gets going.
And remember, on the last possession, it was set up at the 29 on a fumble. City View's also made mistakes, which you can't do if you're going to pull the upset when you're a big underdog like this. They had an interception on the previous possession, which set up Gunter at the 49. And they had an interception in the first quarter, but Gunter came right back with an interception. So City View's turned it over at least 3 times tonight.
The 5-yard penalty on the false start on City View brings them back 5 yards. 2nd down and 10 from the 34-yard line. 4:39 and counting left to go in this 2nd quarter of play. It's a 41-point lead for Gunter. Monroe with trips to the right side. He's got Malachi Williams to the right of him in the shotgun. From the left hash mark going right to left. Takes the snap, play action. Drops back, looks right side, fires right side. He's got his man Whiteside at the 34-yard line. And he's brought down hard by a prowl, or a, what do you call this, a herd of tigers? I think we've talked about this before over the years. Gain of 1 on the play to the 35-yard line. 3rd down and 9 coming.
That's your homework assignment, not mine. But boy, they've run that play so many times tonight. Gunter finally's got it all figured out. They were there, saw it coming, and it never had a chance on the tunnel screen.
We'll make sure we get that collective noun for the Tigers for you at halftime, because I know you'll be sitting on pins and needles for it.
That'll give you got a little time to do that. You can come up with that answer for us in the second half, because we're going to have plenty of time to talk about lots of things in a 41-0 game at this point.
Right now,
City View's looks like they're just going to take a timeout as they let the play clock run down.
This one does run down as Coach Heath Aldrich will take his 2nd time out of the half.
Don't forget 92.1 FM KXEZ, 95.3 KHYI The Range, our sister station. We're deeply rooted and invested in North Texas. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your support. Make a note of this number, 972-251-0725. Love to have you as an advertiser. Got lots of football coming your way. We're going to have Gunter next week, and Gunter probably the rest of the way here on KXEZ. We could have Aubrey, Caddo Mills. They're still alive. Bell's still alive. We might do the winner between South Oak Cliff and Melissa next week, but we definitely have Gunter next week. We could have a lot more. Love to have you as an advertiser. Very affordable. Great way to reach your customers. Again, 972-251-0725.
We potentially have Gunter next week, Scott Powell. 3:36 left to go in the 2nd quarter.
No, I think we'll have Gunter next week. I think they've got this one wrapped up. If not, it would be one of the greatest comebacks in the history of football.
Hey, we've seen crazy things happen here on the air.
You say that, yet when's the last time we saw something crazy happen like that?
It's been a couple of years.
It's real easy to say that, but give me examples instead of just saying we've seen crazier things.
3 minutes and 36 seconds on the clock in the 2nd quarter. Out of the timeout, 3rd down and 9 from their own 35-yard line. City View. The Mustangs line up in a doubles wide receiver set. Monroe takes the shotgun snap. Looks right side, fires right side. Hit as he throws, as this one's into the dirt, and he is absolutely pummeled by a couple of Tigers from Gunter. That'll bring up a 4th down and 9 from their own 34. They get a 35.
And looks like they might punt it here. They did punt after their first possession of the game, and since then they've been going for it on 4th, including a couple of times in their own territory. And here, down 41-0 at the 35, they line up to punt. Although, if I'm Gunter, I don't put anybody back here. I'm looking for a fake here.
You say that, and they've got a couple of twin safeties back there, Cannon Lenberg and Easton Overman to return. This one is away. End over end punt. Hits down at the 35-yard line. Takes a City View roll away from a couple of return men, and this one's off the hands of Easton Overman.
Yeah, he fumbled it.
He did.
City View thinks they've got it, although it looked like he fell on it.
The officials trying to pull bodies off the pile, and it is City View ball.
Kind of a silly mistake. He looked up at the last second as the ball arrived, took his eye off the ball, it appeared, and then fumbled it forward, and that's where City View got involved.
Well,
just kind of a silly mistake there.
Right, Easton Overman, not a starter by any means. Only 8 catches coming into the ball game, only 86 total yards of offense. Trying to make something happen here in the first half of a playoff game. In and out of his hands. A little mistake by the younger brother of the quarterback, Walker Overman, and City View takes over at the Gunter 29-yard line. 1st and 10 with 3:21 on the clock in the first half to go. It's a 41-point lead for Gunter And we'll see what the offense from City View has in store. Trips out to the right side, they come out with Williams to the right of the quarterback, Monroe. Claps his hands, takes the snap, drops back, has a pocket, steps up, fires this one to the right side. Jump ball to the end zone, incomplete. Overshooting his star wide receiver, Desmond Whiteside. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 from the 29.
Yeah, he was well covered anyway. But yeah, the high pass out of the end zone kept him from any chance of completing that. But good coverage by, looks like Cade Dotson on the play.
Dotson, an absolute great athlete in the secondary for the Gunter Tigers.
I guess I should have said pitcher Cade Dotson.
Well, a shortstop, all-state shortstop Cade Dotson.
That's
although
right.
he does come in to close games for the Tigers in tight situations. 2nd down and 10 with 3:15 to go. Oh, I know everything about this Gunter Tigers baseball team. Scott, try to take me out.
We did them at the Final Four last year.
Monroe to the right side. He's got his man out of the backfield. It's Gresham on the swing route. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. 3rd down and 10.
Read very well by the cornerback over there, Cam Doty. Just stepped up, made the shoestring tackle. Remember what I've told you through the years? I've done a lot of Gunter playoff football. They are excellent tacklers. I'd love to meet the tackling coach if they have one at Gunter. I'm thinking they do. They hit you low and they usually get you down, and they just, it's a science the way Gunter tackles.
More on the tackling from Gunter here in a sec, Scott. 3rd down and 10 from the 29-yard line in Gunter territory. Monroe drops back, has a pocket, fires right side, incomplete down the right sideline for Whiteside. Bringing up a 4th and 10. You know, the first game I ever did, folks, on KXEZ was a Gunter football game with Scott Powell. And the first thing he told me about this team was, man, this team can tackle. Look at the tackling coach, whoever it may be, taught them extremely well. And that was, what, 4 seasons ago? Some of the same guys were on that team, and they're making those exact same tackles.
Yeah. Some brothers of some of those kids are playing. Yeah.
They really are. 2:29 on the clock here in the 2nd quarter to go. 41-point lead on a 4th down and 10 coming for City View. Monroe takes it, drops back, shifts his way to the left side, and down he goes. Who is it? Once again, it's Major Thornhill.
The Major.
He gets in there.
You know what I'd like
with
to
Seth
see?
Blassingame.
You know what I'd like to see the Major do when he makes a big play like that? I'd like to see him stand up and salute.
That is 100%. I'm on board with that, Scott Powell.
Of course, you could get a penalty for it nowadays. Who knows? But hopefully not.
I mean, I would, sacrifice that for some pageantry. 2:24 on the clock in the first half.
Spoken like a true non-coach.
Hey, I'm an entertainer. We want to see more entertainment. 1st down and 10 for Gunter.
Remember, that's entertainment.
It really is.
That's showbiz, folks.
That is showbiz, baby. 1st down and 10. Gunter will take over with 2:24 on the clock left to go in the half. We'll see Walker Overman out there with Jace Martin behind him. This is a power pistol formation. Taking the snap, hands it, misdirection. Martin, left side, goes off the left guard, outside the left hash mark, gains 7 on the play to the 30, make it the 43-yard line.
Okay, explain to the folks what a power pistol formation is. When you get a chance, Gunter's in hurry-up mode again.
2nd down and 4.
Terrible situation for a color announcer.
Hand off left side, and he'll get taken down right at the line of scrimmage. That was Kenan Lemberg on the sweep.
And a nice Gunter-esque tackle over there. As we brag on Gunter's tackling, that was a classic Gunter tackle by a City View player. Nice shoestringer by Trey Hansborough.
Shotgun for Overman. Rolls out right side. Has his man on the flat. That is Colin Peacock, who catches it across the 50-yard line. Gets the 1st down for Gunter, and he's taken out out of bounds around the 45-yard line in City View territory, and some extracurriculars going down.
They had a Mustang react very violently. It appeared to be something said by the Gunter receiver. We'll see.
There was no physical contact.
No. I think it was wordage.
Between teams.
And Mustang teammates did a good job of getting him out of there.
Jaleel Thomas was upset with something said by someone. Don't know who it was.
The receiver, I believe. Who caught the ball?
That was Kenan Lemberg.
I think that's who said something, because it happened right after the tackle. And they may... No, they're going to go both ways on this. And why did they call it both ways? I asked an official one time. Because they both are now being warned. That's why they do it. If one of them gets another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, they can be thrown out of the game. So that's why they call it both ways.
From the right hash mark, Stack trips receivers on the left hash mark. Fires the left side from Overman, incomplete. The intended receiver on the play was Colson Wood, his first target of the ball game. Second down and 10 from the City View 46-yard line, going left to right with 1:32 on the clock left to go in the half. Gunter with a 41-point lead as they have scored on almost every single drive except one. Trips to the left side. Misdirection on the delay. Handoff. Brock Body down the right sideline. Brock Body inside the 30, the 35, and a beautiful run and a beautifully called play from Gunter as they get to the 24-yard line.
22 yards.
Deep inside City View territory, trips to the left side. From the right hash mark, pistol formation. Overman takes the snap, looks right side, now he looks left. Fires right side, jump ball, and it is gone down the right sideline. Touchdown, Gunter. That's showbiz, baby.
Great job of adjusting to the football.
Boston Standridge on the reception, caught at the apex, and it's another 6 points on the board for the Tigers.
What I mean by adjusting, it's one-on-one in the end zone. The defender goes for the ball and just jumps up and waits for it. Meantime, Standridge steps around the defender, comes back to the ball, makes the adjustment, and makes the catch.
Overman had a lot of time in the pocket as this offensive line for Gunter has played stellar. Tarpley on for the extra point try with 1:13 left to go in the half. High snap, it gets down. Kick is up, and it is good. 48-0. Gunter with the rout in the first half over City View. You're listening to Texas High School Football Playoff. Football, I should say, on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Welcome back to 92.1 FM at KXEZ. An absolute bomb from Walker Overman out to Boston Standridge for a 6 points put back on the board for Gunter.
6 plays, 63 yards, their longest drive. They tied for the longest in amount of plays in a drive. Gunter has 6 touchdown drives. Remember, they did score a defensive touchdown tonight. But they've had 6 touchdown drives, totaling 23 plays to go on those 6 touchdown drives. It's a little under 4 a possession.
Tarpley kicks this one off. It's fielded by Desmond Whiteside at the 5-yard line. Takes it out of bounds as he's escorted out of bounds at the 12, and that is where City View will take over with 1:10 left to go in the half. 48-0 the score. Gunter, I mean, Scott, they're showing you why they're the defending state champions. This is kind of how it's been going over the past, 8 or so years. First few rounds of the playoffs, it's been games like this.
Yeah, and I'll tell you about it as we go along, but their average winning margin since 2016, when they started their big run of semifinals, championship games, and state championships, 33-point average per victory in the area round of the playoffs since 2016. In other words, they've made it to the state semis every year since 16.
Monroe takes the snap, fires left side, incomplete, intended for the receiver, Matthew Whiteside. Second down and 10 from their own 12-yard line.
Average margin of victory in the bi-district playoffs, which was last week, 48 points a game since 16. 35 points a game in round 3, 26 points a game in round 4. Then things got real interesting starting in 16 and round 5. Canadian stepped in and even beat them a couple of times, and we're all set if both teams move on and keep moving on. Canadian and Gunter one more time in the state semis if they can both get there, and we'll have it for you.
Malachi Williams on the Wildcat formation gains 2 yards out to the 14, bringing up a 3rd down and 8 with 56 seconds and counting left to go in the first half.
Lost to Canadian 33-6 in 2020. Lost to Canadian 17-7 in 2018, but also beat them a couple of times. And there was a streak of like 5-6 years in a row where those two teams met in the state semifinals, and I brought every game to you and plan on doing it again. They usually get together in Abilene or Vernon, one of the two.
Williams takes the snap, leads his man out left side on the sweep. No gain on the play, as that was Gresham on the carry.
And when I do that, I make a weekend out of it usually, and that weekend spot is what I'm going to talk about in my travel log at halftime.
You've been teasing this since midway through the first quarter. I mean,
since the game started about 4 hours ago.
And with that being said, this 48-0 game is headed to halftime. The Gunter Tigers en route to one of the biggest second-round victories I have seen in quite some time, as the City View Mustangs have their work cut out for them with the Gunter Tigers dominating once again here in the playoffs. We're headed to halftime. Don't go anywhere, folks. We've got our halftime show and plenty to talk about when we come back. You're listening to Texas High School Playoff Football on 92.1 FM, KXEZ. Welcome back to 92.1 FM, KXEZ. The halftime score here from C.H. Collins Stadium in Denton. 48-0. Yes, 48-0, folks. The Gunter Tigers back at it here in the area around over the City View Mustangs, putting on an absolute clinic offensively, defensively, you name it. They had a lot of scoring drives, and to bring you those scoring drives is my main man, Scotty P. Scott?
And here's how it went. City View 1-2-3 punt, only a 22-yard punt to start the game. Gunter started at their 43 because they had to punt it into the wind. Only took them 2 plays to go 43 yards. Peacock, 38 of it on a pass from Overman. Tarpley's PAT, 7-0 Gunter. City View went for it on the next possession. 3 plays, went for it on 4th down from their own 34, stopped at the 34. Gunter takes over. First play, 34-yard body touchdown run. Tarpley's PAT, 14-0 Gunter. So the 3 plays, 14 points. City View comes right back on actually the first play from scrimmage from their 25, their next possession. A fumble. Majors for Gunter, recovers it, returns it 10 yards for the touchdown. And Tarpley's point after streak, his PAT good streak, ended at 75 for the season because it was blocked. May not have been his fault. We don't know for sure, but unfortunately it goes down as a failed point after try by Tarpley.
I don't think that's any of Tarpley's fault, not even the defense's fault. I think it may have been someone up here in the booth's fault, but I'm not going to name any names.
It did happen right after I mentioned the streak. That is correct. You don't have to name names.
I'm not naming any names.
Point after, of course, missed, so it's 20-0 Gunter. City View put together their best drive of the first half. Went from their 25 to the Gunter 31. Picked up 3-4 first downs along the way. Converted on 4th down a couple of times, but they were stopped on downs on 4th down at the Gunter 31. Gunter fumbled it away 2 plays later for one of their few turnovers of the night. City View, though, came right back 5 plays later with an interception by Jace Martin. So Gunter started at its 17, drove it to the 36 of City View, and then Gunter threw an interception. So City View starts at the Gunter 25, but they could go nowhere. Let's not forget, City View had a chance to score starting at the Gunter 25 late in the first quarter. They were stopped on downs at the 28. They couldn't do anything with it. Gunter goes the other way from their own 28. It only took 4 plays to go 72 yards. I'm reading my writing there. 4 plays, 72 yards. Dodson with a 51-yard sweep run. Extra point good, 27-0, 11:49 of the second quarter. We finally finished the first quarter. City View threw another interception. Griggs Bell with the pick here. Gunter started at his 41, took just 6 plays to go 51 yards. Farrell with a 10-yard run, PAT, and it's 34-0. City View fumbled on its next possession. Gunter recovered at the City View 29, took 4 plays to go those 29 yards. And Overman with a 3-yard run, 41-0 following the extra point, 5:32 of the second. City View with another turnover. So they had like 5 turnovers in the first half, which did not exactly help their cause. It was a fumbled punt. Anyway, later in the second quarter, the final score of the half, Gunter, 6 plays, 63 yards. Standridge with a 24-yard pass. Completion from Overman. PAT made it 48-0 here at the half. And one interesting side note, Gunter had 6 scoring drives. It took a total of 23 plays to score on those 6 scoring drives. That's a little under 4 per drive. Total domination. They also went to the hurry-up offense in the second quarter, and that seemed to give City View even more problems. Very dominating first half for the Tigers. for the, we came up with some information. We asked, what do you call a group of Tigers? And we got our answer from Ethan Brooks, our engineer.
Engineer back in the KXEZ studio, always coming up with big information, always helping out, and really keeping the studio and station going. An ambush of Tigers, folks, so you're going to hear me say ambush probably about 37 more times by the end of the night.
We've created a monster here.
48-0 is the halftime score as the Gunter Tigers lead it here in the area round over the underdog, the City View Mustangs. It's 2 rounds deep, and the Tigers back at it. Back on their dominant playoff performance 7 years running. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, I'll talk to you about some scores around the area, who the Tigers might face in the next rounds, and exactly what they've done in this historic season in 2023. 48-0 Gunter over City View. You're listening to Texas High School Football Playoffs here on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Welcome back to 92.1 FM KXEZ. The halftime score here from C.H. Collins Stadium in Denton here in North Texas. 48-0. The Gunter Tigers lead it over the City View Mustangs here in the area round. And it's been one of those storied, historic seasons for this Gunter Tigers team. And it is honestly astounding when you look at these numbers. They have not allowed a single point in a football game to this point since back on October the 6th against Bells in a district game where they won 64-6. They've had 6 straight shutouts, including this game. Sorry, they've had 5 straight shutouts. If they can hold this team, the City View team, to 0 points by the end of this one in the second half, it'll be 6 straight shutouts. I mean, the most points a team has scored on this Gunter Tigers defense is 24 back in week number 2 on August the 31st. 53-7, they opened it up against Cornerstone Christian. They won 64-24 in week 2. And then they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shutouts during this season. And this may be one of the best seasons we've seen from this Gunter Tigers program in a decade, where they have been the most dominant team over a span of 7 to 8 seasons.
I remember they're averaging 60 points a game. So they're, thanks to the wind, I'll have to adjust here. Give me a second. Their average margin of victory for the whole season is 54.8 points a game.
In the last 8 games, Scott, they have,
the whole season, yeah.
Well, in the last 8 games, they've scored, their lowest scoring total was 54 points. They've scored 59, 64, 82, 75, 63, 54, and 75 a week ago against Trinity Leadership. And right now, they've got 48 points in the half. This team can do it all. It's not like they're winning these games 54-45. They are dominating on both sides of the ball, and heck, their special teams ain't too bad either.
Remember, I think their offense is even better this year, mainly because now they have a throwing threat. Overman loves to sling it. Not that they couldn't throw it, but they just didn't really need to throw it. Of course, they hadn't needed to throw it this year either with that 54-point scoring margin, winning margin, but they throw the ball much more this year, averaging 17 attempts a ball game. They used to, I was looking, they were averaging only 7 to 10 attempts per game the last several seasons since 2016. So they're throwing it like 10 more times a game on average, and averaging 183 yards a game through the air to balance that 250 on the ground. So they're even more potent offensively at 433 a game and 60 points a game.
This Gunter Tigers team is well on the way to a victory here in the area round.
The amazing thing is the accuracy of the passing. Yeah, I mean, they're averaging 183 a game through the air, which for Gunter is a major change. But how about the accuracy? Overman coming into this game, 75% passer. He had only missed on 26 passes all season in 11 games. That's 2 misses, a little over 2 misses a game, incompletions a game. And Tarpley, backup, was 45 of 61 coming in at 73%. That's the most amazing part of this. And, we've seen him throw it all over the field tonight. They're not just dumping it off on 3 to 5 yard passes like City View does. Gunter's gone deep with it several times tonight.
It's very different than we've seen a Gunter football team in the past, Scott, and you know better than anybody. They have always been a run-first team.
They usually don't have to throw it, but they don't like to throw it anyway. I think now they like to throw it. Walker Overman seems to be he seems to be the passer type, so they're intentionally throwing it more, even though they don't need to, averaging a 54-point margin of victory per game. They don't have to throw it.
And it's got to give credit to, you got to give credit. I mean, you give a lot of credit to Coach Jake Fizzell as he is adjusting to his players. He's not just set, as we've seen some teams over the years, and especially recently, who stick to one style of offense no matter who they've got. He's adjusting to the guys that he has and the players that he has at his disposal, and that gets a winning formula.
And remember, especially when you play Canadian in the semifinals, if they get there, some point somebody's going to slow you down. Canadian has been their biggest bugaboo since 2016. Canadian's beaten them twice in the semifinals, so they don't beat Canadian every time they play them. And if you want to get by Canadian, it helps to be able to throw the football, and they're doing that much better than they have any other time in the last 6-7 years.
One of the great games was last year when they were in Canadian. I mean, when they played Canadian, Walker Overman threw a touchdown pass in the closing seconds of that game last year to send them to the state tournament, or the state championship game, I should say.
As I brought that to you live here on KXEZ from Abilene.
And speaking of teams down the road, Scurry, Rosser, and Comanche are playing tomorrow night, and they'll take on the winner of that. And the 4 teams left on the other side of this bracket that could potentially meet the Gunter Tigers. Jacksboro and Bells, and Holiday and Leonard face off tomorrow night as well at 7 p.m. This is one of the lone games in this bracket happening on a Thursday night under the Thursday night lights here in Denton.
And speaking of Abilene, where we hope to meet Canadian in about 3 weeks in the state semifinals, it's time for the travel log and my place that I want to talk about. That I've been many, many, many times, not quite as often as South Padre, but many times, is Buffalo Gap, Texas. And I discovered this place several years ago. I consider it a hidden gem, and kind of where West Texas begins. They say Fort Worth where West Texas begins. It's a beautiful area. It's just about 10 miles south of Abilene, but it's out in the middle of nowhere. You say, well, how can it be in the middle of nowhere if it's only 10 miles south of Abilene? Well, if you go there, you kind of get that feeling. There's nothing else around it. And it's nice that it's way out there by itself, but then again, if you have an emergency and if you really need something badly, you're only 10 miles away from Abilene, so that's the greatness of Buffalo Gap. Most people haven't heard of it. It's pretty much a nothing town, but that's the greatness of it. They got lots of, their biggest commerce there is bed and breakfast area. It's one of the bigger bed and breakfast towns, and that's most of their commerce. They do have a few stores. A couple of antique stores. They do have a couple of cafes, a couple of restaurants, but there's not a whole lot to do there. The thing that makes Buffalo Gap famous, though, the thing that put them on the map was Perini's Steakhouse. If you don't recognize that name, they catered a gubernatorial inauguration and a presidential inauguration, and that was the great George W. Bush, who had Perini's cater those 2 events.
Oh, W.
So that's how good this place is. Great steaks, but they've also got lots of other things. They've got everything from steaks to quail legs. That's what I like to say. And they do have quail legs, by the way, and I've had them, and they're pretty good. When you drive up to Perini's, and it's right there in the heart of Buffalo Gap, when you drive up to it, you might put a blindfold on. It's not going to impress you from the outside. You're going to think, Scott Powell sent me here? This is a hole in the wall. It is a hole in the wall. From the outside especially. When you go inside, it's a lot nicer. But don't be fooled by the outside. Please go in. And they didn't even have air conditioning 10 years ago. So, I mean, they relied on fans in the summertime. So it's pretty rustic. Great food, though. And Tom Perini, the owner, I've gotten to know him. And he owns most everything in town, by the way. If it wasn't for Tom Perini and Perini's restaurant, Buffalo Gap would not exist. But they do have a state park there. If you didn't know, they have a lake there. if you didn't know that. Just slightly outside of town, but it's really, you feel like it's in town. And they have an historic village to go with those bed and breakfasts. And just looking to see if I left anything out. Buffalo Gap is the name. They even had a buffalo in a restricted area as you entered town in the old days. I think he passed away and they didn't replace him, but that was kind of cool to drive into Buffalo Gap and see a real buffalo off to your right as you hit town.
That is pretty awesome.
That's about all there is. It's a great place to take your wife and or girlfriend, Ethan.
Oh.
And that's... Oh, let me say one other thing. Probably the best time to go is 4th of July.
Oh, yeah? Why is that?
They have a downtown 4th of July parade where all the businesses will dress up their trucks and their cars, and it's kind of fun. It's only about an hour, and then you'd go eat afterward. Abilene, though, has a great fireworks show. The city of Abilene puts on a fireworks show at their zoo, so if you can make that. It fell on a weird day this last year, so we drove to San Angelo and went to their fireworks. San Angelo's about an hour south of Buffalo Gap, maybe an hour and a half. And we went to their concert and fireworks, and that was a lot of fun. So there's plenty to do there, but also you can drive 30 minutes to an hour and find plenty of other things to do. How about this one? Tuscola is about a 20-minute drive. And do you not have any idea who's the most famous player from Tuscola, Texas?
Who do you got?
That is the house that Colt McCoy built.
Colt McCoy.
And his father, who was his head coach, was the coach there at the time. That's where Colt McCoy earned all state honors and led him to a state championship. Tuscola High School. It's about 10 minutes south. And that's the other thing I forgot to mention. It's a beautiful drive. That is a beautiful area. It's kind of the beginning of the hills and the mountains of West Texas. They're not huge, don't get me wrong, but when you get off the highway, you go I-20. When you get off the highway and drive toward Buffalo Gap, it's very hilly, and it's just a pretty area, so that drive from Buffalo Gap to Tuscola is a beautiful drive. I encourage you to do that. Anyway, that's about all I got. I encourage all of you to do it. You got my phone number? Call me. I'd love to talk Buffalo Gap and answer any of your questions. 972-251-0725. I am not the mayor of Buffalo Gap, by the way.
Buffalo Gap, where the West starts.
In Scott's opinion.
In Scott's opinion. However, I've the amount that you've talked about it over the years, I need to get out there and check it out, because those small towns like Gunter, it's just a great place to do some sightseeing and to really just take in the environment. And what better place to do it than a place called Buffalo Gap in West Texas.
And by the way, maybe next week when we do Gunter again, maybe I'll do my latest trip, Alaska.
Ooh, another tease for you folks here on KXEZ.
You get it all from Scott Powell. Buffalo Gap, Texas, and Alaska, USA.
Another page in the ledger for this travel log from Scott Powell here on a Thursday night. It's 48-0 here from C.H. Collins Stadium in Denton. The Gunter Tigers with a commanding lead. A rout over the City View Mustangs here in the area round of these 2023 Texas High School Football Playoffs. And we'll have the second half for you as the teams make their way back out to the field. We'll take our final break as second half action is coming your way here on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Welcome back to 92.1 FM KXEZ. Start of the second half almost underway as the teams are lining up on the kickoff. It's 48-0 Gunter.
I'm sorry, I'm going to just leave you here alone since it's 48-0. Go to Buffalo Gap. Is that okay with you?
Please do, yeah. Send pictures and I'll meet you out there in a few hours.
Hopefully I will be there after that semifinal game. And hopefully they'll play at Abilene Christian between Canadian and Gunter. That's 3 weeks away. I know that sounds crazy to project that, but it's happened like 5 times in the last 7 years that those two teams have met in that same round.
Onside kick to start the second half over to the right side, the far side off of Malachi Williams' right foot. And it is recovered by Gunter at the 47-yard line, and that's where the Tigers will take over to start the second half of play.
By the way, we had offsides on the kickoff as the referee is way down here.
Maybe they'll re-kick.
Motioning.
Some quick scores around the area for those who care on a Thursday night. Jesuit and Coppell, a huge matchup going on. 28-10, Coppell has that lead Southlake over Wolf Fourth Friendship. Scott,
I've heard of it.
42-7.
Believe it or not, they play pretty good football.
And Gilmer and Sunnyvale are in a close matchup, 17-10. Gilmer with the close lead.
Caddo Mills, a team we might cover down the road. They're playing tonight if you can find that one.
Option out right side is Walker Overman. Fakes the pitch to the right side, and he's down. He goes to the 40, making the 35-yard line. His helmet comes ripping off as he'll have to, as a flag comes in, actually. It might be, helmet's off. Face mask is probably a penalty flag if it's on there.
By the way, how'd they get the ball to 48? I think we were too busy jabbering.
That's when they recovered it.
Kick.
They recovered it on the onside kick, and then they moved up 5 yards for the offsides.
I like City View trying the onside kick. Got nothing to lose. Now they're getting a 15-yard penalty. Now, so the second play will be snapped at the 20 of City View. Picking up right where we left off in the first half.
Into the red zone for the first time here in the second half, 48-0, 10 seconds in. Two receivers on either side. Play action. Overman fires right side, back in the end zone. Lindbergh, my goodness, he got it, brings it in, touchdown, Gunter.
Exact same play we saw in the first half. This time he got the foot down. It only takes 1 foot, but exact same play where he beats the defender, waits for the ball to come down on the fade. The defender doesn't catch up. He just turns, jumps, and pulls it in and then gets the foot down.
Another
in the corner of the end zone.
Another touchdown pass for Walker Overman, and I mean, you've talked about his accuracy all game long, Scott, and that shows you again, he put that ball right on the money, right in the back right corner of the end zone, and Lindbergh, I mean, he made a twisting, turning catch, but it was a beautifully thrown ball.
Looked to me like he dropped it right in the bucket.
Absolutely he did. Tarpley, but it was on for the extra point try. It's up and in, and it's 55-0 Gunter over City View. You're listening to Texas High School Football Playoffs on 92.1 FM KXEZ.
Sponsors tonight, Belfiore Spa and Salon, Boyd Farm, Texas Gun Show, and the Gerald Company. Don't forget, you can get us at live365.com. We'll have Gunter the rest of the way. And if you can't hear us at 92.1, if you got out-of-town friends, family, tell them to go to live365.com. They can hear us anywhere in the world. And Boyd Farm and Event Center. Book your holiday event at Boyd Farm. That's Boyd Farm. And the Texas Gun Show is a week from this coming weekend, November 25, 26 at the Embassy Suites in Frisco. So go.
Tarpley kicks this one away. It's going to be fielded at the 5-yard line on the run by LaJordan Byers as he goes to the right numbers to the 15, 20, and down at the 19-yard line. Just shy of that 20. 55-0 the score. Gunter over City View, 11:34 on the clock in the third quarter, and got to start wondering, Scott, about that running clock.
Not running yet.
Not running yet. Not sure.
Well,
maybe
when we say that, it'll run when they tell it to run, but it's not going to run so far at times when it's not supposed to run. At least at this point, we'll let you know.
First down and 10 from the 19-yard line for City View. Wildcat formation. That's Malachi Williams in the shotgun on the right hash mark, going right to left. Takes the snap. It's a power run to the right side off the right guard, and that Gunter defense holds true right at the line of scrimmage. No gain, 2nd and 10.
I said both coaches have to kind of agree to it. The winning team is going to always agree to it, especially when it's 55-0, but it has to happen at halftime. And, when you think about it, the visiting coach would have to come to the home coach or at least the referee and bring the subject up. You'd never see the team that's ahead go to the other coach and risk getting his block knocked off for asking,
Absolutely, as Williams is back out there. The 2nd and 10 snap from the 19-yard line is taken and thrown out to the right side. That goes Whiteside, as Desmond Whiteside has one of his first catches of this ball game down the field. He may have a couple of bubble screens. Folks, we don't have official stats, but that's the first time I've seen Desmond Whiteside catch it more than 5 yards down from the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's definitely a short passing game. We've got a penalty on Gunter. Personal foul, face mask.
Whiteside gets taken down out of bounds by the face mask, puts him up 15 yards to the 46-yard line. Well, 10:51 on the clock here in the third quarter. 55-0 Gunter over City View. Yes, I said it, folks, 55-0. If you've been following Gunter Tiger football this season, that's no surprise to you, as this team has been dominant.
Average 60 points a game.
1st and 10 from the 46-yard line in their own territory. Shotgun snap to Williams. It's a high snap. Quarterback power right side, brought down in the backfield. A loss of 2 on the play. And that Gunter Tigers defense is saying, I don't care that we're up 55-0. We're going to play hard until the final whistle.
Seth Blassingame came from right in, chased him down from behind, and made the first hit at the ankles from behind. That's good quickness to come down the line as a defensive lineman.
Blassingame has had a fantastic game tonight. Second down and 12 with 10:22 and counting in the third. Couple of tight ends in the ball game and a running back to the right side. Williams takes the snap. Going to fire this one down the right sideline. Incomplete. Actually headed more toward the middle of the field. Intended for Desmond Whiteside down that right seam on a skinny post. Makes it third down and 12 with 10:12 on the clock here in the third.
That's a shame because he had him beaten on the post route. Had 2 or 3 steps on Boston Standridge, but it took a perfect pass and he didn't get it. Tried to make a late dive, but couldn't come up with it.
Third down and 12 from the 44-yard line. In their own territory are the City View Mustangs. Back into the ball game for this third down and long play is Jacob Monroe. 2 receivers on either side from the right hash mark. Takes the snap, drops back. Has a pocket, fires left side. He's got his man in the flat at the 49-yard line across the midfield stripe and down inside Gunter territory to the 46-yard line. A nice catch and run by Jeremiah Durham.
But short of the first down, so it'll be fourth down, another fourth down try. Manageable compared to a lot of the other ones. They only need 3 here.
Fourth down and 3 from the 47-yard line inside Gunter territory. Make it 9:45 and counting left to go in the third quarter. 55-0. Gunter leads it over City View in this area round, the second round of these 2023 high school football playoffs. Monroe came in for a...
Got to kind of hurry now. They're at 7 on the play clock.
The official holding for substitutions. Williams back in at quarterback. Fourth down and 3 coming. High snap. Fires right side. He has Desmond out there at the 40-yard line. Makes the catch. Now corkscrews his way from left to right outside the right numbers and out of bounds inside the 30-yard line to the 28. And a first down for City View.
Well, you know you're going to get a pretty good cushion from the cornerbacks when you're up 55-0, but also a good formation to pass against because Gunter loaded the box. It's 6 down linemen and 3 linebackers, so one-on-one coverage. And the corner over there was playing off by 10 yards. You just don't want to get beaten when you're up 55-0.
9:16 on the clock in the third quarter. A 55-0 score, like Scott Powell just said. And ahead of this first down and 10 play from the 28-yard line of Gunter is a timeout called by the Gunter Tigers.
Gerald Company. Best appliances you can find anywhere. Head to the Gerald Company in Rockwall, Grapevine, Dallas. First quality appliances. Refrigerator, freezer, washer, dryer. I got all 4 of those myself from the Gerald Company in Rockwall. Great experience. I encourage you to do the same. Go by or visit GeraldCo.com, GerrellCo.com. See for yourself. Aggies, we are your home, your Metroplex home for the Aggies, football and men's basketball. The footballers play Saturday morning, 11 o'clock kick, 10 o'clock pregame against Abilene Christian, non-conference game right here on 92.1. The basketball team plays tomorrow night, 6:30 pre, 7 o'clock tip against Oral Roberts at home. Then they host Penn State on Thanksgiving morning at 11 a.m. with a 10:30 pregame. So don't forget all them apples. Texas A&M, don't forget, we got lots of high school football coming your way in the coming weeks. Gunter next week and Gunter the rest of the way here on KXEZ.
Coming out of the timeout, first down and 10 from the Gunter 28-yard line. 9:16 on the clock in the third quarter. And Malachi Williams in at quarterback to run this Wildcat style. He drops back, has a pocket, fires to the middle of the field. He's got a man, and it's caught. Touchdown, City View.
Now that would be dropping it into the bucket right there.
Trey Hansborough on the reception as Malachi Williams indeed dropped it into a bucket straight in the middle of the field. He finds the end zone, and those are the first points the Gunter Tigers have given up in 7 weeks.
When you have coverage that good, he only had 1 step on the defender, and he hit him in full stride, dropped it over the defender into the bucket for the score. Perfect pass. Might have been the best pass of the night for Monroe.
A 28-yard touchdown strike. And on for the extra point for City View is Jaleel Thomas. Hold is down, kick is up, and it is short.
And now I know why they've only made half their extra points this season.
It is short, and it
was woefully short. I think I could have kicked it further with a pulled hamstring.
Yeah, well, you might have. 55-6 is the score. 9:11 on the clock in the third quarter. Gunter still with the commanding lead in this area round. You're listening to the Texas High School Football Playoffs on 92.1 FM, KXEZ. Welcome back to 92.1 FM, KXEZ. Onside kick attempt. It's up in the air. The ball is still on the ground, and it's finally scooped up by the Gunter Tigers at the 40-yard line. Another onside kick attempt. Not too bad from Malachi Williams, who's been doing it all here in the second half.
9-11 first half. If you'll remember, the first half of the first quarter, he made every play for City View, caught all those passes.
55-6 the score. Gunter with the lead here in this area round matchup with 9:11 on the clock in the third. From the 40-yard line, the Gunter Tigers will take over. Will we see Walker Overman or will we see Tarpley out there? And it looks like it is the backup quarterback, Preston Tarpley.
Nice drive by City View. 8 plays, 81 yards. By far their best of the night.
You know, these Gunter Tigers have some great names on their team. As one right here, a fake out on the play action as Tarpley rolls out right side. He's got Cole Harpole in the flat. I mentioned the name, Scott, because in at running back is Jake Rathbone.
Number 9.
I mean, we got Major Thornhill, we've got Walker Overman, and Rathbone in the backfield for the Gunter Tigers.
I think Boston Standridge could stand up right there, too.
I mean, how can you go wrong with, and Brooks Griggs Bell? I mean, great names all over this team.
Unless you're an announcer and he's pitching in the game you're announcing.
Pitch out to the right side as Tarpley has his man, Boston Standridge, right on cue, hurdling a man. A flag comes in on the far side of the field, opposite sideline that the play was made.
I just mean, not that he's a bad pitcher, but, you know, it's hard enough just to say Griggs Bell slowing down and thinking about it.
Right.
But try
Griggs
doing
Bell.
it over and over and over when you're broadcasting a baseball game and he's the pitcher.
That Boston Standridge 10-yard gain will be pushed back 5 yards on the false start, or the offsides, I should say, for Gunter. Someone was lined up in the neutral zone, so he gets pushed back 5 yards. 2nd down and 8 from the 42-yard line. In their own territory, 8:25 and counting in the third quarter, 55-6 the score. 28-yard touchdown strike for the City View Mustangs on their last offensive drive. Tarpley on the end around, hands it off, trying to break it outside, but stopping nowhere. He maybe gained a yard on the play. On that run was Dylan Tokars, I should say. 3rd down and 8. 3rd down and 7 from the 43 and the left hash mark. Under 8 minutes to go in the third.
Thomas, 13, pick up of 1 on the play.
From the left hash mark now, Tarpley getting some playing time as he's gotten all season long. He's thrown the ball quite a bit, a 70+% passer.
Oh, no, he's the weaker of the two quarterbacks. He's only completed 73%.
Oh, 73.
75%. I'm kidding.
Tarpley, bootleg, right side, fires this one to the sideline. A nice catch by Standridge. Fully outreached as he cuts back toward the middle of the field to the 50-yard line. Very close to a first down. And yes, it is a first down. They needed 7. They got 7. Right smack dab on the midfield mark and the right hash mark with 7:09 and counting left to go in the third. So you mentioned, Scott, about this power pistol formation that they keep running.
Yeah, I'll explain what a power pistol is to people who may not know.
Well, right now they're in the normal pistol. They are 3 yards behind. The quarterback is 3 yards behind the center, with the running back behind him, as that right there is a big-time run by Jake Rathbone, cutting through the defense and getting his raft to the defense back to the 37-yard line. So normal pistol formation. The quarterback is about 4 yards behind the center, and 3 yards behind him is the running back. And a power pistol is he has a fullback in the same formation right in between the quarterback and the running back. It's really odd to look at, folks, is you've got 3 players a yard apart from each other, 4 yards behind the center, and that's that power pistol formation that you don't see very often, but Gunter likes to run it in close down situations. End around right now given to Dylan Tokars, who goes to the right side and down and around the 30-yard line. Correction, that was Easton Overman on the carry. Gain of 8 on the play to the 29. So there's your little football formation education. Yeah. I don't know a whole lot, folks, but I do know maybe 2 or 3 things.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
2nd and 2 from the 29-yard line. Really slowing it down, and why not? We've seen that hurry-up offense that we don't see very often from Gunter.
They're really working the play clock. It's under 10 before most snaps.
5.5 minutes left to go in the third. Shotgun snap. Handoff right up the middle for Rathbone across the 25-yard line to the 24, and a first down for the Tigers. They'll go heavy now as a couple of extra offensive linemen check into the ballgame. They take on the winner. The Gunter Tigers take on the winner of Scurry-Rosser and Comanche.
Yes, they play tomorrow night. Remember, it'll probably be, you would think it'll be a Friday or a Saturday game next week with Thanksgiving.
I could see that.
I've seen a game or 2 on Thanksgiving, though, through the years, believe it or not. Get it over with early. Play it at noon, you know.
I agree. Handoff Rathbone. Rathbone gets inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. Some extracurricular going down in the secondary, but no flags. It's going to be a 5-yard gain and a 2nd and 5 coming from the 19-yard line of Cityview. 4.5 minutes left to go in this third quarter. A long ball game. I mean, that first quarter took about 45 minutes.
And yet it's only 2 hours old. So it's rolled since the first quarter.
55-6 the score. Gunter with a commanding lead. To put it very mildly. Pistol formation. Tarpley on the end around. Has his man bouncing it outside. 10-yard line, 5-yard line. Finding the pylon. He's in. Touchdown, Gunter. Dylan Tokars.
Touchdown, Tigers. Dylan Tokars, number 13, takes it in from 19 yards.
You know,
out.
Gunter's not one of those teams that's just going to let up and settle for a 55-point victory. They're going to put it on you, and you know what? They've tried to slow it down, but there's only so much you can give these kids to do.
They quit throwing it, which is good. Yeah.
And 61-6, pending Tarpley's extra point. And that one's up and through. 62-6.
Busiest leg in North Texas.
4:02 on the clock. He averages
just a little under 7 extra points a week.
You said it in the pregame. He's got to have the sorest right leg on Saturday mornings, and well, it'll be a Friday morning tomorrow. Every single week this year.
And all the kickoffs, too, you know.
That's true.
And that takes a lot more effort than the extra points, really.
Well, he's got to be lucky that he doesn't have a lot of punts under his name this season. 62-6 the score. 4:02 on the clock in the third. You're listening to Texas High School Football on 92.1 FM, KXEZ. Kickoff fielded at the 15-yard line, past the 20, down at the 24-yard line, but a flag comes in after the tackle. 62-6 the score. Gunter over Cityview with 3:56 on the clock in the third quarter.
Penalty. Here comes the referee, Mathis, with the call. It's going to go against Cityview as they're marching it toward the 10-yard line, stopping at the 12.
You know, that is the, correct me if I'm wrong, if you have the exact total, Scott, but that seems like the third, I'm pretty sure it's the third unsportsmanlike penalty on the Cityview Mustangs this game. They've had more penalties unsportsmanlike than any other type of penalty this game.
There hadn't been many otherwise.
With 3:56 on the clock, Cityview will start this drive at their own 12-yard line. 1st and 10 from there. And in at quarterback is Jacob Monroe once again. 2 receivers on either side. Monroe takes the snap, looks right side, swing route out to his man Durham in the backfield. Makes the grab, but he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage, 2 yards to the 10-yard line.
Pass complete to Jeremiah Durham, number 2.
3:40 and counting left to go in the third. 62-6 the score. Gunter playing like they have been all season long. Again, the most points they've given up in a single game is 24, and that was back in week 2, folks. They haven't given up double-digit points since midway through September. 3:18 on the clock. Monroe takes the snap, play action, drops back, 4-man rush for Gunter, steps into a throw, firing incomplete, intended for the receiver Hunter Brown, as Monroe took a shot off the edge by one Major Thornhill.
That 24 points they gave up was almost half of the total they've given up for the whole season. The next high was 12 allowed to Brock. And then every other game was less than 10, including 5 shutouts. So, yeah. and you know, we're talking about Walnut Grove getting 24 on them. They beat them 66-24. It's not like that was a game. You know, maybe a lot of those were in junk time late in the game.
Monroe passes this one to the 15-yard line. He's got a man. The ball popped out. It popped out.
By the way, when you're Gunter, you can make junk time a lot earlier than late in the game.
That is 100% true.
This game was 20-0, what, 5 minutes in?
At least. I mean, at most 5 minutes in.
Well, I might even be able to find
that. Jeremiah Durham out of the backfield made the grab. Tackled down around the 19-yard line. The ball popped out at the end of that, but he said the referee said it was down. It'll bring up a 4th down and 3, and the punt unit comes onto the field.
How about 2.5 minutes and it was 20-0?
It started, it was my memory serves correct, a 38-yard touchdown pass from Walker Overman, then a 34-yard touchdown run for Brock Body, and then it was a scoop and score by the defense. 2.5 minutes into the ball game. Easton Overman fields it at the 45-yard line. The punt cuts it out to the right side. 45-yard line. 40, 30, down the right sideline. Easton Overman inside the 10, pushed out of bounds. And this Gunter Tigers team all over the place.
You know, the old saying, sometimes when you fumble it, it makes for a better return because the people coming downfield tend to crash in instead of staying in their lanes. And, you know, he drops that, picks it up, and gets a great return, almost scored on it.
They're going to mark him down at the 2-yard line, and Easton Overman is saying his brother gets a lot of the attention as the starting quarterback.
Boy,
and
they look similar, don't they?
They run the exact same. They have the same running style, the same mannerisms.
Got that little mane coming out of the back of their helmet. They're not very tall kids.
But they sure are athletic for this Gunter Tigers team. Tarpley will come out there, not Overman, giving him a little bit of break. And Easton Overman onto the field. They'll line up in that fullback position on the left side. Jake Rathbone to the right side. Touchdown, Gunter. It was actually Brock Body. 2 yards out on that 1st and goal play. Oh, it was Easton Overman on the end around. A couple of Overmans getting into the end zone for Gunter. It'll be 68-6 now, pending the extra point try with 1:59 on the clock in the 3rd quarter.
Overman, Overdale.
Hold us down, kick is up. Tarpley puts it through. 69-6. Stay with us, folks. Well, you can see more, you can hear more Gunter Tigers scoring here on the airwaves on KXEZ. You're listening to 92.1 FM, KXEZ. Welcome back to 92.1 FM at KXEZ. 69-6 after the great punt return by Walker Overman. He takes it in 2 yards out for another score for the Gunter Tigers. This one kicked off by Tarpley at the 12-yard line. It's fielded by Desmond Whiteside. Goes to the 20-yard line, and he's down right there. 1:53 on the clock in the 3rd quarter. We've got another quarter to go, Scott Powell. As the Gunter Tigers
What's your point?
Lead at 69-6. I mean, they can score about 30 more points if they wanted to. And we'll see City View out there.
20-yard line, 1st and 10 Mustangs.
From the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 from there.
You know, I had a nice little talk with the with Heath Aldridge, the head coach at City View. Interesting story or two I want to bring your way here in the final quarter.
Monroe up the right seam. A beautiful pass from Monroe to Malachi Williams, who gets down at the 34-yard line. Big gain of 14 on the 1st down play.
He just got hired, and they're kind of scrambling to fill other holes, and he's still coaching the girls' basketball team.
Oh,
he
really?
has to coach he's head coach of the football team. He has to coach girls' basketball. Same time of the year.
First and 10, Monroe drops back, escapes a tackler, rolls out left side. Monroe goes to the 35-yard line, slide down around the 36, gain of 2 on the play.
He tells me this story as he calls to apologize for being late getting me the information on his day. I was like, my gosh, Coach, you're very nice to call. Most of them don't even call, but he calls to apologize because he's having to coach basketball while he's the head football coach. That is very unusual.
That is, especially Texas high school football in that. I mean,
he's also the athletic director.
Wow, he does it all. I commend Coach Aldrich right there for, one, calling you to saying, hey, man, I got it to you late, and I apologize. Second down and 8 with 44 seconds and counting in the third. And a timeout's going to be called by City View.
Don't forget, make note of this number, 972-251-0725. We'd love to have you as an advertiser. It's a great way to reach your customers, very affordable. 972-251-0725. We'll do Gunter in coming weeks, obviously. Hoping for that Canadian showdown in the semifinal round here in 3 weeks. We also, if they win this week, could have Aubrey and Bells, maybe. Caddo Mills.
Melissa.
Caddo Mills plays tomorrow or tonight against Texarkana Pleasant Grove. Aubrey plays tomorrow against the Vandals. Bells plays Jacksboro tomorrow night. South Oak Cliff, Melissa, we might have the winner of that one next week. We know we'll have Gunter against either Scurry, Rosser, or Comanche next week. Again, we'd love to have you help sponsor these games, 972-251-0725.
Well, for all those high school football fanatics out there, mentioning Caddo Mills in that Pleasant Grove game. We did that game a few years ago, and we saw one of the great finishes. It was actually me and our good friend Hank Clements, Scott Powell. We did that game together at the Royce City ISD Stadium, and one of the great finishes, Tyler Townley.
I was in Jackson Hole. I did not miss you at all. Go ahead.
Tyler Townley, who was an all-state quarterback in the 4A level, ran it in down by 4 with 20 seconds left to beat the reigning champions Pleasant Grove Eagles, and it was one of the best finishes in my first year with KXEZ a few years ago. So just one of my fond memories of Caddo Mills and Pleasant Grove going head-to-head in the playoffs. As here, a second down and 8 play. Malachi Williams takes the snap, rolls out right, firing over the head of his intended receiver, Trey Ansborough, and that'll bring up a third down and 8 with 33 seconds left to go in the third quarter. The Gunter Tigers up 69-6. Here in the third quarter in this area round of matchup, and like we've talked about all night, Scott, this has kind of been the story in the playoffs over the past 7 years or so for Gunter. They've ran through the first 3 rounds of these playoffs.
Boy, do I have lots of facts and figures to back up what you just said.
Ahead of this third down and 8.
I think the district streak
is
might
incredible.
Be the most amazing. We'll go back through that. We talked about it in the pregame. Well, as we're killing time in this blowout, first of all, we got a timeout. Let's take a quick 30-second timeout to wake up our engineer, Ethan Brooks, back at the studio. Ethan, take it away here on KXEZ.
Welcome back to 92.1 FM KXEZ. Coming out of the timeout on this third down and 8 play. 33 seconds left in the third. Pitch out left side and tripped up in the backfield. A loss of 1 to the 35-yard line of that defense for Gunter. Not given any way here with a big lead, 69-6 in the third quarter, as it will probably be the final play of this third quarter. Gunter continuing their dominance.
Well, we're going to go to the fourth quarter, and then we're going to talk some more about Gunter history. I've got some nuggets here that are really interesting. Again, it's really fun to research Gunter football because it's all incredibly wonderful numbers. It's hard to find anything negative because they're so good.
And before we do get to that fourth quarter, we'll take another break. 69-6. Let's step aside. More Gunter Tiger football for you. Texas High School football playoffs for you when we return on 92.1 FM KXEZ. Fourth down play, 4th and 9. Punt off the right foot for Jaleel Thomas to the left side, out of bounds at the 43-yard line, and that's where Gunter will take over, starting the fourth quarter.
Let's look at the district research that I've done. They have not lost a district game since 2015.
That is insane.
Almost as impressive as this number. Their record since 2007 in district play is 95-3.
Since when?
Since 2007, 95-3.
Three losses.
3 one-loss district campaigns. 3 one-loss district campaigns since 2007.
3 district losses in 16 years. Ridiculous. Tarpley, pass out right side. Out of bounds near the 50-yard line at the 49. And 11:42 on the clock and counting in the fourth quarter. 69-6 the score. Gunter over City View. Second down and 4 coming from that 49-yard line.
14 district championships in 17 years, all undefeated district championships.
Wow. Just wow. Honestly, it's not even... I can't even think of video game numbers to match that with that. That's insane. Second down and 4 from the 49. Handoff. Left side. Bouncing out to the left hash mark. Outside the left numbers now. 45-yard line. 40. 35 and down out of bounds at the 31. Nice gain right there by Jake Rathbone.
In the last 7 years, they're 116-4, and 2 of those 4 losses came in state championship games.
I mean,
Two others came in state semifinal games. They've made at least the state semifinals every year since 2016.
I mean, even Alito and those football teams a few years ago, when they got to the state championship 4 years in a row, it's just this engulfs those numbers like crazy.
They've played in 5 of the last 7 state championships in 3A Division II and won 3 of them. Lost the other 2. And we've done, I think, every single one of them here on KXEZ.
Mitchell Gage carrying the
The
football.
2 semifinal losses during those 7 years were both to Canadian, but they beat Canadian other times to keep these streaks alive, by the way.
And off to Mitchell Gage. Loses 2 for the Gunter Tigers at the 33-yard line. Handoff. Gage again. Bounces it outside. 30-yard line. 25 and barrels his way down to the 22-yard line. Close to the first down marker. It was actually Colin Peacock on the carry.
Their lowest win total since 2016, until this year, of course, when they were 11-0. Their lowest win total was 13 wins, and that came in 2020.
9.5 minutes left to go in the ball game. A 69-6 lead for the Gunter Tigers. Tarpley in the pistol formation with the lone receiver on the right side, Cohen Scalorn. Handoff, right side, bouncing out, 15-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play to that 15. On the carry was Colson Wood.
It's amazing they've only won 3 of the last 7. I say only, but they've lost to Franklin in 2021 in the championship game.
A game we called.
Lost to Newton in the 2017 state championship game, and then lost twice in the semifinals to Canadian. We've called them all.
Second down and 4 from the 15-yard line. Pistol formation for Tarpley. Major Thornhill in at running back. End around handoff, left side, off the left tackle. 5-yard gain. Make it a 6-yard gain to the 9-yard line and a goal-to-go situation for the Gunter Tigers. You know what? As many times, just going back to the game, this game specifically, as many times as the Tigers have scored, they haven't had a whole lot of possessions inside that goal. They haven't had a whole lot of goal-to-go situations inside the 10-yard line.
Most of their touchdowns have been longish runs.
Ball spotted at the
Although they'll
9-yard line.
have
It'll be first and goal from the 9.
a first and goal to go from the 9-yard line with 8 minutes and counting left to go in the ballgame. This Gunter Tigers fan base, they are as loyal as I get. Obviously, I mean, loyalty isn't where it comes from. It's from the entire town who rallies around. They travel extremely well. As quick pass sent out to the left side and brought down inside the 5-yard line.
Just look at tonight. They had many more people here than City View did.
Carson Williams on the catch and run to the 4-yard line. Gain of 5.
This is almost a home game for Gunter.
Not
when
too
you
far.
consider where Gunter's located.
Not too far.
City View from Wichita Falls.
Pick up a 5 on that play. Brings up Second down and goal.
Second down and goal from the 4-yard line with 7.5 minutes and counting left to go in the ball game. Cameron Cravey, the lone receiver on the right side. End around. Handoff. Open space. Touchdown. Gunter. Mitchell Gage. 4-yard touchdown run. Wide open.
Mitchell Gage scores a touchdown. And the block of Robeson, number 75.
Yeah, well, what a call out for the PA announcer. I don't know if you heard, folks. He called out the lead blocker for him, Braden Robinson.
Hey, not many PA announcers give a block. There aren't that many play-by-play announcers that get blocks.
I didn't even see him. Robinson with a quick block. Starfleet puts this one up and in, and it is 76-6, surpassing their 75-point total from a week ago. 7:13 on the clock left to go in the ball game.
Well, we keep it right here. I want to mention our sponsors one more time. Belfiore Spa and Salon, Boyd Farm, Texas Gun Show, and the Gerald Company.
Thank you to Chrissy Maloof.
And Boyd Farm, if you have an event, especially a holiday event, give them a call. That's Boyd Farm. Texas Gun Show will be a week from this weekend, November 25, 26, in Frisco at the Embassy Suites. Again, a week from this coming weekend. The Gerald Company, best appliances you'll find anywhere. They have 3 locations: Rockwall, Grapevine, and Dallas. Got my washer, dryer, my refrigerator, and freezer from the Gerald Company. I encourage you to do the same. Visit them in person or go to geraldco.com, JARRELLCO.com for more information. And we have the Aggies coming up next couple of days. More on that after this touchback from the touchback machine, Preston Tarpley.
Preston Tarpley, we mentioned it all over, and it's kind of crazy. We mentioned Preston Tarpley so much, but folks, he is that impressive as a kicker, especially at the 3A level. He'd be impressive at any level.
A&M football Saturday, 11 a.m. kick, 10 a.m. pregame. Your Metroplex home is right here on 92.1 FM. KXEZ, they host Abilene Christian. The men's basketball is also here on KXEZ. They host Oral Roberts tomorrow, 7 p.m., 6:30 pregame. They host Penn State Thanksgiving morning, 11 a.m., 10:30 pregame.
The Golden Eagles, Oral Roberts. Fumble for a bit in the backfield, recovered quickly by Malachi Williams, who's ran that second-string quarterback wildcat formation. He gains 1 on a play that could have been a turnover. It's to be 2nd and 9 from the 26-yard line.
And don't forget, we could have Gunter here in the coming weeks, definitely next week, and probably have the rest of their games here. We could also have Aubrey. We could have Caddo Mills. Aubrey plays tonight. Caddo Mills plays tonight. Aubrey plays tomorrow night. Bell's possibility. They play tomorrow night. So check your morning news listings the days of the game, and we'll probably have a lot more games coming your way here in the next few weeks.
2nd down and 9. Williams fires left side. He's got his man Desmond Whiteside.
And don't forget, if you can't get us here at 92.1, those folks that are out of our signal range, out of town, tell them to go to live365.com to get all of our streams of all the games we do. You can hear us anywhere in the world at live365.com. If not, 92.1 FM, KXEZ.
Gain of 5 on that play. Gets him to the 31-yard line. We'll see Jacob Monroe out there once again. 2 receivers on either side from the left hash mark. 3rd down and 4 coming for the City View Mustangs. Monroe takes a low snap, steps into a throw, fires to the middle of the field. A jump ball incomplete, intended for Malachi Williams. Gonna break up a 4th down as Monroe took an absolute shot around the 20-yard line, and he's slow to get up, but he finally does. 4th down and 4 from the 31. 4 minutes, 50 seconds, and counting on the incomplete pass as they run the clock here in the fourth quarter.
Are they running it? They are running it. Yay!
76-6 is the score. I mean, saying that is just ridiculous as I say it out loud. And it goes to show has been the main theme all night long, and we keep bringing it up. Dominance from the Gunter Tigers. City View. Run it away? No, he'll have to bring it down. And he does. 30-yard line, heads for that 1st down mark, but he's a yard short. Jaleel Thomas was about to punt it, but wisely pulled it down before he can get it away, before it was blocked. He ends up gaining 6 on the play, but a yard shy of the line to gain. And with 4 minutes and 9 seconds on the clock, the Gunter offense will come back out on the field. Scott, if they get 80, I mean,
they are running the clock now.
Well, I'm just saying, it's
80 is rare. I'll give you that much.
in a playoff game.
Yeah.
In
any game.
You're right, but especially in a playoff game that isn't the first round.
Yeah.
I mean, 76 in an area round game is.
Their average margin of victory in the first round is much larger than the rest of the rounds, which, as I mentioned that earlier in the game, but yeah, it's ridiculous to be this one-sided in an area, but it just shows how good Gunter is.
Jax Graham on the end around.
If City View was playing anybody else in this area, they'd be doing a whole lot better.
Jax Graham takes this one inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. And get this, if you look at it this way, they had it's 76-6. They had a wider margin of victory last round. 75-0.
Good point.
But they're on the move right here inside the red zone, 1st and 10. I'm going to call this one to the end, folks. Handoff right side. The 10-yard line, still on the move to the end zone. Touchdown, Gunter.
They're in the 80s. Plenty enough. You don't see many games in person that are in the 80s.
Walker Overman, number 2, takes it in.
Walker Overman, who went back in there at running back. He gets in. I beg your pardon, folks. That is not Walker Overman.
No.
It is they have a couple of JV players that they brought up.
What's the number?
Number 2.
They do have 2 2s on the roster, which would be the reason for Ethan's confusion. They do have 2 2s. They do double up on numbers on the roster, especially in the playoffs. It would be Boland, Blake Boland.
Blake Boland, the younger brother of Zach Boland.
Oh, no. He plays baseball.
He did this. He was the second baseman. He was an all-district second baseman for the Gunter Tigers on their state tournament team.
I'm so glad I looked it up.
So Blake Boland gets into the end zone for a touchdown. A JV, one of the 8 JV players that they called up for the playoffs.
And again, remember, you'll see this in the playoffs sometimes. They'll have 2 number 2s, 2 number 3s of the smaller numbers. They'll have 2 of them on the roster.
And it is 83-6 now. 83 points in an area round game. Outstanding.
And the clock is stopped.
2:15 on the clock here in the 4th quarter to go. I mean, a great season for City View. However, I don't really want to talk about it, but I already brought it up. It's got to be demoralizing. I mean, Gunter, the Tigers, they have no sympathy, I'll put it that way, in the most competitive, spirited way I can possibly put. They love to play football. They're out there not to make friends. They're out there to show their dominance. I mean, it's awesome.
There's an old saying, stop us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then City View did. There were 2 or 3 stops in the first half.
Tarpley away. End zone, touchback.
TB.
Clock is running under 2 minutes now.
TB Tarpley.
TB Tarpley. Preston Tarpley. I want to see, you know what, folks, there's not a whole lot of coverage of the Gunter Tigers other than what we're doing here. And every once in a while they have a local video broadcast for them, but there's not a whole lot of paper coverage. The Dallas Morning News doesn't cover them.
Quit. Just get right to the point. Dallas Morning News does not cover the Gunter Tigers.
And they should, 100%. I mean, I get it. It's not directly in Dallas County.
We're not bad-mouthing them. That's a factual statement that we just made, and they've told me that.
Pass out to the left side, and this one goes to Desmond Whiteside.
You know, they don't cover some other schools that are way out north either. I mean, I'm not picking on them for that, but I mean, they are a 3-time state champion. I mean, you could bend your rules a little bit.
I would agree, and my point to make is that guys like Preston Tarpley, who is a great kicker, we talked about him a bunch. I mean, there's some other guys. No, I'm sure they're not big-time D1 players here at the 3A level. That's just the truth of it. But there's a lot of people that can get these names out, like a Dallas Morning News covering the Gunter Tigers, who are a 3-time state champion. could get those names out, and maybe some colleges can get some recognition for this team.
How about a nice little cover story, a nice big story on the program?
I would love. I mean, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a disservice to this Gunter Tigers team, who's been so dominant over the past 7 to 8 years, and I would like to see some of that change a little bit. And that's me. I rarely ever, folks, get on some sort of rant, but this is one that I wanted to talk about, at least briefly, that this program needs to have some more coverage other than, us to cover. I'm glad that we are.
You've got some pull at Channel 4. You work for Channel 4. Why not get them out there?
You're right. You know what?
That's probably a possibility.
Yeah, that's probably
very
true.
good possibility.
Stay tuned, folks.
You got to work on that. I'm serious.
Yeah, I'll be on it. 83-6, the Gunter Tigers, as this one's a handoff at the quarterback keeper, Jeremiah Durham, down to the 30-yard line inside Gunter territory.
TV sports departments love to do stories on high school teams.
Yeah, I would
get them out there.
I absolutely will get on that. Stay tuned, folks, to next week when we have this Gunter Tigers team back on our airways. We may have some updates for you on that.
I'm riled up. There is an advantage having Ethan Herrera at your game.
I am riled up, and that will be the final whistle, the final horn. 83-6, the Gunter Tigers take it over City View here in this area round matchup. An astounding victory here in round number 2 of these Texas high school football playoffs. On to round 3, they'll take on the winner of Scurry Rosser and Comanche, and we'll have it for you back on the air on 92.1. Scott, I mean, there's not much to say that we haven't said already. Final thoughts on this one?
City View was competitive, at least for a quarter and a half. But you just kind of knew it was Gunter's night when they returned a fumble for a touchdown in the first quarter to make it 20-0. 20-0, 2.5 minutes into this game. So City View turned it over a lot. If they didn't turn it over, they've had a little better chance to make this competitive. But once Gunter gets on that, it's kind of like, what's the old saying, the snowball going downhill or whatever. Once they by the second quarter, once they went into that hurry-up mode, it was ball game.
It's hard to stop that momentum once it gets started.
Absolutely.
83-6, the final score here from C.H. Collins Stadium in Denton. Stay with us next week. We got a lot of high school playoff football happening. The Gunter Tigers will be a part of it.
Yeah, we will have Gunter when and where they play. Plus, maybe some others, Aubrey, Cattle Mills, Bells. Depends on who wins. This is the only one we know about right now.
Please check your local listings, as it'll be the only sign of Gunter you see in the Dallas Morning News for the Gunter Tigers.
They put our radio listings in there.
Absolutely. 83-6 is the final score here in the area round. I want to thank our brilliant broadcast engineer who has done such a great job over the years and especially over the season. Coming in last minute, Ethan Brooks. For Ken Jones, our fearless leader, wherever he may be listening at, or my brilliant broadcast partner and color man, Scott Powell.
I'll agree with that.
I'm Ethan Herrera saying thank you and good night here from C.H. Collins Stadium in Denton.